That was Connor Riley. Looks like he may have just infringed there, stepped over.
Debuting for the Tigers today, son of Bomber Riley, boy from St Bernard's.
Very nice, and that's what you bring to the table.
Yeah, the kick by McIntosh, it was a very risky kick into the corridor. It was,
yeah, very poor, and it just straight off the side of the boot. Now we may just get the first goal of the day. You are kidding me.
You would not.
What is going on here?
I'd already written that down. That was 5 metres out directly in front.
Jackson Ross tried to cover off that, and he has missed it left.
He tried to kick it over the netting and almost missed his foot.
I thought I'm the only one that can do that.
Wow.
Or Travis Cloak. Sorry, Trav. Ball out towards the wing. It might come back quickly. A little bit of a fumble by Whitecross. Quick kick by Warple. Inside 50. Garthwaite's back there. Happy birthday, Ryan. 20 today. Got it across to Morris. Now to that looked like Arts, and it went away from him. In fact, it was Daniel Caulfield, and it's over for a boundary throw-in.
Anthony Miles and Brendan Whitecross just having a little bit of a...
Miles is happy to just go a few little jumperies there.
Yeah, there's a couple.
That's all right, a little bit of feeling.
Good start.
Those get you 3 weeks at the top level. Yeah. Down here, more or less, it's okay.
Very good start by both sides here, but going inside 50, both sides you have to capitalise, but defensively holding up strong.
That kick rivaled the shot on goal a moment ago from Ross. Wasn't all that spectacular from McIntosh as he was pushed. So the free kick will be taken. Ball will come up, that'll be Brendan Whitecross.
Plenty of the footy early, Whitecross as well. He's about 65 metres out from goal. He'll set it up towards the top of the goal square. Big fly from the front from Warple, and it's thumped away and over for a rush behind.
Thumping it away, Ryan Garthwaite, just the resolute fist of the birthday boy.
Every week. Silvestro just chips it over the top. Nice little running mark taken by Brandon Wood. Now he pushes back.
This is where the Tigers just got to think their way through it here. They're going to try and change the angles because Box Hill very good at...
There's been a lot of this from both sides so far. Just this blazing away to a contest. Warple at the front there. If we get him out this side, just check out the real odd haircut he's rolling with.
Tigers happy to get that long down the line kick and then trust the numbers at the fall of the ball just to run away with it. But where Box Hill really try to control the ball through uncontested marks. So it's a contrasting styles with ball movement, but defensively both sides very, very strong.
Baker was there, McIntosh as well. Kick went forward. Came off hands. Now it ends up with more. Couldn't quite gather it. Silvestro got involved. Now McIntosh pushing up to the footy. He's had a bit of it early. Goes forward. Mark should be taken. Not quite. Came off hands. That's Ballard at the bottom. Gave it off. Now McIntosh getting involved again. Right foot, little bender. Bouncing towards goal face. Didn't get there. That was taken there by Caden Brand, who can clear the area for Box Hill. But it's intercepted. Menadue on the other side. He's taken it 52 from home. He's just going to play on. Swing around on the right and just spear it in low and long. That was Stengel pushing to the footy. Couldn't quite keep it in play. Out in the full.
Connor Menadue enjoying a nice patch of form as well. Coming back from AFL duties. We're probably best on ground against Northern Blues before the bye. His run and carry is something that's really evident at VFL level. Try and translate that into further opportunities at AFL level later in the season.
I want to know what you think of this so far, Brent, but I reckon the foot skills have been rubbish so far in this game.
Rubbish is one word for it.
There's plenty of other words you could use, but probably the most appropriate on-air one.
Ball's on half forward for the Tigers. It missed the boot there of Wood, and it's not coming out there. We'll have a ball up. Some early technical difficulties, guys, which we apologise for. Tell us what's happened so far, Brent.
Well, but both sides defending extremely well. It's a bit of a chess game at the moment. Both sides going inside 50, not as well as they would like. We've got Box Hill on 2 points and Tigers yet to score, but yeah, both sides defending extremely well. But just need to tidy up their entries inside forward 50. David
Mirror in particular dominating in the last line of defence for the Box Hill Hawks. Richmond with plenty of chances. And we saw an easy goal, a 50-metre penalty, a shot from the goal line, missed by Jackson Ross.
You put it in your book already,
wow.
Brendan,
I'd already written it down. I had to bring out
easy one for you to remember because there's a little scribble there now.
Morris goes short, out wide. It'll come back in through the Tigers, kick up towards full forward. Getting there first for Box Hill is Hams. Turns back inboard, got a hand pass away. Now the kick goes long up towards centre wing. Garthwaite gets back, has to go with the fist. Brought the ball to ground nicely. Turnover time. Richmond towards half forward. Moore got it across there to Jones. He goes out wide And the Hawks can steady things down through the agency of Warple. He goes up towards the wing, and it'll be thumped away by Ben Miller and over for a boundary throw-in.
Ben Miller developing very nicely as a key back for the Tigers. Played it majority of his footy at national level as a forward and ruck, but sliding along very nicely next to Ryan Garthwaite.
So Box Hill 2 behinds Richmond, yet to score after 12 3/4 minutes of the first term.
So it was brought down out the front by Soldo. Didn't go anywhere from there. Free kick found, sorry, for too high, going the way of the Tigers. Miles at the bottom of that package just gives their hands off quickly. They've got numbers along the line, just works his way over the top again. It just sat up for McIntosh now. He's under a little bit of pressure, gets it over the top. Soldo's got it. He just gives it off to a runner. Kick will go inside forward 50. It's going to go long. Stengel's at the back. The kick didn't go deep enough for him, and they can get the mark. The cut-off mark. Can Box Hill, and they just bring it into a dangerous position there. The diving low-down mark was taken by Dylan Moore. He can bring it out further. Whitecross with it now. He's going to go. Just takes on a couple and then just sends it long. Kick. This is where they've been falling down. It was a good one on this occasion. The mark there was taken by Schoenmakers. Plenty of experience there. Now he goes long. He's got one out the back. Just needs the ball to carry, and it does. The chest mark's put down, and then the soccer off the ground goes out to the line. Not sure whose boot that came off.
Dan Caulfield, and they'll be out on the full. Free kick to
It was off Caulfield. I was thinking it may have even been off Mitchell Lewis, who was involved as well, but he'll be the recipient of the free kick.
We're going to have a discussion here to work out whose boot it was.
Yeah.
Lewis is going to give it away. If they can't decide, they'll throw it in.
Which is, I think on this occasion would be the right decision.
Yes.
And it's a free kick.
They've given it to Lewis. Wow. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I thought it was Lewis who threw a boot at it trying to soccer the goal, and it just went off the side.
That's what it looked like to me too. Having dropped the chest mark that he shouldn't have dropped, Mitch Lewis.
And then the short kick in board. Smart decision there. That was Jackson Ross. Now, watch this. I can see him kicking this post high straight through the middle.
Redemption is now for Jackson Ross.
The other possibility is it lands on Pun Road. And just goes off at right angle. So, Jackson Ross. Redemption. Has he got it? Looked all right off the boot. Has got the legs. No, off hands and through for a minor score.
It's two of those from Ryan Garthwaite.
A nice little spoil. Brought back into play. The kick wasn't a great one. Tigers with numbers, though. That was an up and under from Lloyd just to clear the space. Now, look at that. Nice little hang.
Caden Brand.
Just set up very nicely for him, didn't it?
He got a little ride too, and he's kicking board. It's always the way, isn't it? Take a hanger and then stuff the kick. Bolton got involved in the middle, and look at the Tigers go. They can get away. That's Arts with it. He's just going to run to 55 and sit it up long. How's the bounce? It just skids and dribbles through. It sat on the line, but eventually a minor score.
Probably a little bit more time there, Jake Arts.
He rushed it a bit in the end, and they had the numbers running forward. Could have worked it out.
Yeah.
They could have got that one to a shot within 30.
Oh, dangerous kick in that from Miles, but it came off.
The aerial presence Box Hill has been really, really strong in this early part of this first quarter.
There's some big blokes out there on the Box Hill side of things.
Brand to Whitecross, now out to the wing in the hands of Cousins. Prolific ball winner Cousins.
He looks to go inboard here.
Soldo shut him down pretty well then, just as he was trying to take off. Given the hurry up, dangerous kick. Tigers are plenty here, but it was well done by Dylan Moore. Created the turnover, but he had no support. Bolter, dispossessed, good tackle. McIntosh fed it through, didn't look. That's a poor, poor kick, and he's given it up to Nelson Lane, the late inclusion for the Hawks. Quick switch to the outer side. Dorian, the 23rd, went out wide, and it's with Ross. 70 metres from goal, Punt Road side. Jackson Ross kicks in towards the pocket. Set for Pitnet. Garthwaite got there first. It was thumped away from him and seen over by Nash for a throw in.
Very, very good recovery defence by the Tigers there. The Boxing Hawks were out on the outer side. The ability just to stream back inside 50 and cut off the options resulted in the ball going out and a D50 stoppage.
So thrown back into play here. Soldo just came off the back of his hands. Warple roved it well. Right foot bender doesn't quite get there. Marked on the last line. I think that's Garthwaite back there. He's just going to bring it out. Arts is at the back, but the man at the front there will take the mark. Is that Willsmore? It was. It's on the paint of 50.
Both teams have had plenty of chances for the no goal to be kicked.
Plenty of chances even for only 4 scoring shots. I mean, we've had 1 behind versus 3, which feels like there's been more opportunities than that. So Willsmore, he's 50 out on the paint. He'll kick from about 52, 53, something like that. If he gets the journey, this will be impressive. It'll be on the left slipper. And he's just hung it out.
Won't score there.
Out the full. Goal umpire and the boundary umpire came together, and I reckon they got the right decision in the end.
We'll go around the grounds for VFL followers shortly as the Tigers prepare to bring it back into play. Long ball, Townsend up towards the wing. Ball to ground level, and it's thumped away nicely there by Heatherly, and over for a throw-in.
Yes, it's going to be a grind today, isn't it, boys?
It's going to be a long one.
The rain is starting to come in, and
sideways too.
Yeah,
and it's not like it's not driving rain. It's just enough to make things greasy, which is almost worse, I reckon, at times.
Bit annoying drizzle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Soldo front spot, got it down to ground level, booted forward for the Tigers by Wood. Up towards half forward it goes. Good little play by Coleman Jones. Arts looping hand pass. Soldy's made into trouble. Lane stolen by Ellis. Oh, just that little fumble at the crucial stage allowed Lane to get back onto the contest, and it'll be wrapped up on the forward 50.
There is it too, that little fumble from Allison, and that's purely the conditions. Dry weather footy, he's picked that up. He's running in onto the left about 40 out and kicks a snag.
In saying that, Corey Ellis played one of the best wet weather footy games you see against Northern
Exactly.
Blues. So, but the pressure from both sides has been elite in this first quarter. So it's going to be a grind today.
And that was an elite handball from Naish to get it outside to Riley, the debutant. His up and under kick is thumped away by from Arts by O'Donnell. And we get a boundary throwing. Connor Riley, a debutant today for Richmond, 21 years of age from St Bernard's. So good luck to him. We've got an injury worry here for Jake Arts. Looks like he might have a dislocated finger or something similar.
It's a good day for it.
Yeah, nice and chilly. Yeah, he's got to get it put back in.
Oh.
Never a comfortable feeling when your finger goes out like that. Yes. Mine did a W one day and ran over to the trainer and she ran away from me. So.
Good tackle here laid by the Tigers, and that's on Miles, who will get the free kick for holding the ball.
I must say, it's probably better doing a finger than an ankle that we saw the other
Oh,
night.
that was
nasty. You wouldn't wish that on anybody.
It was a nasty
Fortunately,
injury, but the affection
he's got
showed by
without a break, hasn't he?
Well, exactly. Fortunately, a good result.
It's a very good result for him because it certainly looked very bad at the ground the other night.
The injury was horrific, but the affection showed by his teammates was one of the moments of the season. Was just highlights the connection felt by all of this club.
Anthony Miles from 45. It's going to hold up into the breeze. Pitnet tries to rush it through. Ellis, can he get it on the boot? He can't. He was wrapped up in midair. And the ball brought to ground as the rain comes down quite a bit heavier.
Just gets a bit heavier.
Here at Swinburne Centre.
I'm very happy we are.
They've
Under some sort of tent, yes.
Put a tent up for us today.
Exactly. So they went up at the top of the square, and look at the numbers just getting around the footy. They recognise it's wet. These are the situations where you just think the umpire's just going to pluck a free kick from nowhere, but he just calls for it. Just throw it up again. It's going to be a stoppage day today.
Richmond set up pretty well behind the ball. If Box Hill blasted out, they'll get a repeat entry, the Tigers. They've got to think their way through this Box Hill.
Box Hill with the numbers on the line. Clearing kick came out of there. Morris is sitting underneath it. He got out position, came off hands. That was good by Jackson Ross. He's looked good in this game so far. Courage there. Garthwaite was good as well. Got involved. Ross with it again. Just puts it on the boot. Soldo went up, got a palm on it. They sting on a day like this. Now Box Hill, they work it out the back. No, the handball wasn't good. Ross was charging through. Now Soldo with the tackle. There was an arm and a leg around his opponent. Ballard just bursts out the back of the contest. Garthwaite playing on the last line. He's going to get it on the boot. He just couldn't quite gather it properly and then just slammed it on. A little up and under. Alice flew, came off hands. Moore's involved. Now the kick going forward from Wood. Just sits it up to the half-forward flank. Bolton underneath. It came off hands to the front. Menadue, it didn't sit for him. Box Hill got the numbers on the line. There's a strong tackle and it's holding the ball. Shea Bolton was good.
That was much better by the Tigers. They brought the ball to ground, whereas earlier, for the majority of this first quarter, Box Hill has been able to take intercept marks in the D50. But it was very good by Shea Bolton. Very good recovery too with the tackle.
So Bolton from 75 kicks up towards the goal square. Big numbers there for the Hawks. It was thumped away by Pitnet. Ellis, impossible angle. Kicks towards the top of the goal square. Centering ball. Oh, bounced off the face almost there of Sloyd. Ball to ground level, trying to work through. Couldn't quite get a clear kick away. Ballard little bit of a throw. Umpire happy to let that go. Behind the play is Menadue. He fumbled. Got around one. Then poked it towards the goal square. Stengel with a couple to beat. They're both too tall, but he stayed in the contest, Stengel. Got himself a chance. And in the end, the Hawks, Miles, had to walk it over for a rush behind.
That's much better by the Tigers. Really scrapped and fought in their forward 50. Nearly resulted in a goal.
Tigers 2 behinds. Hawks 3 behinds. 23 minutes gone in the first quarter.
So the Hawks have got the run down the outer side.
They're at the back here.
They have got numbers there. Cousins was involved, went long. The mark's going to be taken deep there. As you mentioned, Schoenmakers, he got out the back and he takes an easy one on the chest. He had Warple pushing back to the square, chose not to go there. He's got Pitno there as well. And Soldo's manning him, so Schoenmakers will take the shot. He'll kick from about 35 out. Bit of an angle, but...
Right side for a left footer, you think? AFL player, Premiership player, you'd probably slot this 8 times out of 10.
I think you're on the money, although he did kick one with his left a moment ago and put it out in the full. Schoenmakers kick on the way. Looked good, and it's there. The Hawks have got the first, 139. Richmond, just the 2 behinds. We've travelled 23.5 in this first term. Love the transition footy there from the Hawks. They got a couple of numbers free through the centre wing, that sort of area. They would work out their hands, and that just gave Schoenmakers the time to get out the back. And really, it was just too easy from there.
A good overlap, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
For Box Hill. And going to coast is probably going to be prominent today, given the pressure that both teams are showing and the conditions. You need that overlap, get the loose man going, and a very good finish. Now,
free kick here to Box Hill from the restart.
Now, there was one player from each team still in the square trying to get out. So
that's interesting.
Not sure how they picked it out.
They almost just picked the one that was furthest away from the edge of the square.
Lovell kicked inside forward 50. Here's another chance for the Hawks. From the hard angle was Nash. Couldn't get a kick away. Beautifully done by Richmond. Clearing ball came out of there from Caulfield. It'll bounce away. They want out of bounds on the full. Not going to get it. We'll have a throw in.
Lucky that wasn't an LED sign, which players have been struggling with at
AFL
level.
Shredded his arm.
Well, we wouldn't be able to see the players if it was an LED sign. Not a fan of those guys. Soldo, front spot. I'm sure the players aren't a fan of them either lately. As good play by O'Donnell. Worried his man out of the contest. Ballard was in there as well for Richmond, and he got tackled over the line.
Always wondered that, how they go lining up a set shot and goal, and you've got 2 big signs, each going different ways with moving graphics and all that sort of thing. It'd do your head in.
It's not ideal, is it?
No, not at all.
And it's not great as a spectator trying to see the teams.
Yes,
the ads are usually the same colours as the Guernseys they're wearing too.
But if you're a player getting paid $1 million, put up with it.
Yep. Exactly right.
So it works its way out to the line in this one.
That's where the money's coming from.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you what, I'd cop a few cuts on the arm if I was getting paid $1 million a year.
Absolutely.
You can handle it. You can handle it.
Tigers set up pretty well here. They've at this D50 back half stoppage.
Soldo and Pitnet about 5 metres apart. Pitnet got the running jump and won the tap. Soldo off the ground, tried to get it back to Naish. Tracks it back, throws it onto the left boot, gains a few metres. Ellis left it behind. It's unusual. He's done it twice now. A little bit of a fumble from Morris, and he's desperate to work it towards the line. It was kicked away in the end by the Hawks player in Cousins. He got it over for a throw-in.
Plenty of pressure on the ball carrier from both sides at the moment. Box Hills is probably just edging out the Tigers in that area. You assume the likes with the rain starting to get a lot heavier. You assume the likes of Miles is going to play a big role in this game.
We may need the lights the way this is going. The Ruckman both got to run at it again. I think Soldo was involved with a toe poke. Alice was out there putting the pressure on and went after the footy again. Miles was there in support, but Alice was able to gather it and clear out of there. He just kicked it forward. No one was able to get a hand on it. Trying to get over it and involved there was Mura. Now the hands off the back of the contest. Going to be a free kick for too high, I believe. Box Hill player there. Was that Hams on the other side? He was just going in low and tougher.
Don't know how long the lights take to turn on, Jim. Sometimes.
Well, they may take a bit to warm up.
Yeah.
A bit like myself here. It's a bit chilly. The kick's just going to go long. Once again, it's just another long up and under kick. And amazingly, no one got a hand on it. It's come out the back. Warple's going to gather it, shrugs a tackle, and then he's caught from behind. Huge that from Noah Bolter. Warple thought he was out and was going to get a shot from 40. Bolter was having none of that.
That's what Bolter brings. His strength and speed and pressure for a big man is something to behold sometimes.
So he just went with a short kick. I reckon he might get it back in a moment here. So now it's an up and under down the wing. Footy being played on that outer side, flat out today. Mark taken by Soldo at the front. Wouldn't mind it getting out our commentary position side.
Never does it?
It doesn't. It's always the way in footy. We'd go stand over there and come out here. At the front of the pack, Stengel was good. Got the hands out.
That was better by Alice.
I like it. Alice now just drops it inside forward 50. It's out towards the line, though. It's just going to dribble out there, potentially over. Mira ran past the footy, and he's lucky in the end because thought it was going to hang into play, but it didn't.
The wind has really started to pick up. It's quite blustery out there at the moment. The ball's sitting up a lot more than I thought it would.
It certainly is. It's not really skidding as much as you think at the moment.
Yeah, ground in excellent condition here at the Swinburne Centre as Pitnet had to reach over top of McIntosh. Solid tackle laid there twice by Jones, and it got rewarded in the end. So it'll be a free kick to the Box Hill Hawks. Harrison Jones deep in the back pocket. They've kicked the only goal of the first quarter, the Hawks. Jones goes long and high to the outer side. Soldo underneath it, couldn't take the mark. Chance here for the Hawks. Good hand pass from Warple. Released his teammate and away they went. Morris tracking it back. Naish is there as well, or is it? It was Baker, and he got caught holding the ball. As the siren sounds, and he's not even. Is he going to have a think about this? He is.
He's got to have a go. This is when you like to spiral, and in the wet sometimes too. They can just get a little bit more on him.
Couldn't possibly, could he? Oliver Hanrahan, man on the mark, is at 60.
This just skids off the boot, I reckon.
Well, he didn't do too bad, but it is out of bounds on the full, about 25 metres around, and it's quarter time here at the Swinburne Centre at Punt Road Oval, and the Box Hill Hawks have kicked the only goal of a low-scoring, hard, tough, tight first quarter. They're 1-3-9. Richmond 2 behind. Brenton.
First time Richmond has been held goalless in a quarter for a very long time. I've been really impressed with Box Hill's ability to control the air in their D50, and then the one time they got out the back, Showmakers was in a perfect position, slotted the goal, and it's going to be a matter of who takes their chances more in this game, because you get the feeling it's going to be a scrap, it's going to be a grind. It's just going to be the team that's more efficient inside 50, you'd feel.
Yeah, you're exactly right there. And as you mentioned, the conditions can't seem improving, so it's going to be much of the same for the next 3 quarters. We're in for a hell of a contest. Both teams finally make their way to the huddles, so we might have a spell. Come back, we'll go warm up, duck inside. Let's get the hands warm.
Before we go off, interesting around the grounds. Footscray 7-6-48 leading the Northern Blues 7-3-45. That'll be close to 3-quarter time. And Werribee 5-6-36 leading Geelong 5-5-35, and that'll be just about half time. They're running half an hour in front of us.
So 3 games underway so far, and they all seem to be belters at the moment. We'll have a break. We'll be back shortly with more action from the Swinburne Centre. Welcome back to the Swinburne Centre. Richmond v Box Hill VFL action. Box Hill 139 to Richmond's 2 behinds in the first term. It's a low-scoring contest, but it's been wet and it's been tough. Quickly, Brendan, what sort of stats have you got to roll out to us from the Box Hill side of things?
We've got Brendan Whitecross on top with 7 disposals. We've got Kieran Brand with 6, along with James Cousins, Kieran Lovell, and is it Nash? I'm just looking for Connor Nash with 6 disposals as well, and Dave Mirror with 5, and also 3 marks, would I assume to be 3 intercept marks.
And they would have all been in about the first 5 minutes. Because we didn't actually see him after that. I wonder if he had an injury.
You'd almost suggest maybe that there was a bit of a defensive tag. Something like that.
Craig McRae went straight for him, but we'll keep an eye out for that because he is back out there on the ground.
And when we get a break in play, we'll just bring you a few of the key stats for the Tigers from the first quarter. The pump going down, Townsend was on all 4. Whitecross was there involved as well. He gave the hands off. Now kick forward for Box Hill. Conditions looking a little better. Came off hands. Morris was at the front. Couldn't gather it. Schoenmakers gets involved with a hand. Now a clearing kick from Garthwaite. It's only going to go about 20 further afield. Townsend and Miles both fly it. Roving well. Zad Ellis now sends it forward. Stengel's underneath it. He'll take it on the chest. He got it out the back of Mirror.
That's much better from Corey Ellis. In the right spot. Clean hands.
And how's the kick from Stengel? It was a good one.
That's exactly what they missed in the first quarter. That connection inside forward 50. That was superb by Coriolis, Stengel, and then a very nice lead by Callum Moore.
Yeah, he did.
He got out the back, didn't he, Callum Moore? And he lost, Jackson Ross lost him. He was able to double back and get on the good lead.
Now, Callum Moore, I don't like this one bit. Kick a drop punt, not this right foot bender style thing. And that's why you do it, because you just spray him across the face, out on the full even. No minor score. I'll tell you what, let me at him.
If you kick the wrong part of the ball, it's a
very easy kick to stuff right up.
Yep.
And he's done it on that occasion.
Not many people are as good as Stevie J.
No.
Exactly.
And they're all trying to copy him.
You've got to know your capabilities.
Exactly. Mitch O'Donnell goes short. And it's a good mark taken there in the front spot by Pitnet.
Now, this is going to be a big duel today. Soldo v Pitnet, 2 big boys, quite athletic.
Both probably up to senior football if they can get a chance as Pitnet kicks towards half forward. At the back for the Tigers there is Bolter. Swings around onto the right boot. Arriving was Miles. That was Tia Miles for the Hawks. Knocked it to ground. Back on the field here was Arts. Got a hand pass across. Miles knocked it down for the Hawks. Trying to bust his way through. Again, having another go was Arts. Hand pass through. Mirror. Back over the shoulder, Cousins shrugs one tackle, then had to get rid of it. Mirror got a hand pass off, Hanrahan. Short ball, Andrew Moore. Now Pitnet kicks towards the top of the goal square. Back with the flight of the ball, doing nicely was Miller. Kept it in, numbers with Richmond. Oh, Morris got in the way. He was good enough to recover. His kick was smothered and it goes over the line for a boundary throw-in. I think he smothered his own man's kick there, Morris, and then had to get it back.
The Tigers were out on the Jack Dywing side too. They had Lloyd, Menadue, and one other player out. They would have been off to the races, but yeah, unfortunately, Steve Morris just got in the way.
139 Box Hill, 3 behinds Richmond after 2.5 minutes here at the Swinburne Centre. Peter Jackson, VFL round 13.
I'll tell you what, every time the goal is kicked, we're going to be up and about. There's not many of them. It'll be like the soccer. It just works its way over the line. And a free kick for Too High going the way of Box Hill.
Can you bring out the Mexican caller? Or should that be me?
You're more than welcome to have a go if you'd like.
Even the Icelandic caller that a couple of years ago when they qualified, he got very excited.
The Tigers just trying to clear the space. The kick went out to the half-back flank. It was an up and under. They got the numbers there at the front. Alice was involved. He'll pick it up now. No, he couldn't do it. Box Hill working hard just with the pressure to keep it in there. Now a clearing kick comes out there. Stengel against Mirror. That's not going to work out. Mirror was too strong, got the 1-2, and now he just steps away from Stengel, gets it on the right boot, goes inside forward 50. Soldo underneath it, should take it and does. Got a nudge from behind.
Knee right in the small of the back. They don't tickle.
They sting a little bit of feeling there from Garthwaite too, just to let Mitchell Lewis know that's not on. Long clearing kick out there for the Tigers. Once again, it's just dropping on the boot and CFA and kick it. And Box Hill with the numbers out the back.
A lot of system either way at the moment, is there? It's just scrambling.
Just kicking
high
hard.
pressure. Andrew Moore in the middle. Brings it across to Whitecross, who gets one over the shoulder. Probably took the mark anyway, to be fair. Right on the centre wing. Short ball was okay. It's in the hands of Willsmore. Tigers back everywhere, filling the hole. There's nowhere for him to go. He just drives it towards the top of the square. Garthwaite front spot, almost the mark at the back. Front and centre was Warple, and he has been unloaded after he kicked it by Townsend, and it's on.
Townsend wasn't happy about it.
Little bit of carry on here. It was a downfield free kick. The umpire is keeping an eye on things. It's a 50-metre penalty now.
Pitney more than happy to throw his weight around
yeah,
too.
Pitney wasn't too impressed either.
So
there's a bit of fire in this game at the moment.
So Dylan Moore will go to the goal line. Let's see if he can do what Jackson Ross couldn't in the first quarter.
It's a fraction late by Townsend. He hit on Warple. But not too sure it warranted all that hoo-ha.
Dylan Moore kicks the goal, and Box Hill have a couple. It is 2 goals, 3-15 to 3 behinds. The umpire has the notebook out.
He's been reported.
I believe he's reported Jacob Townsend.
Not too sure if it was for the
for the first hit or for something in the fight.
Yeah,
well, because Townsend didn't appreciate the afters he copped, did he?
No.
He was happy to throw a few jumperies in there.
He certainly unloaded. I think it was Harrison Jones. No, it was James Cousins after he got a quick kick away.
Yep.
And so we'll try and confirm that, but it looks like Jacob Townsend is in the book.
Yep.
So a little bit of a worry there for the Tigers and Tiger fans.
Absolutely, and it's a worry with the Tigers are just a little bit off with their ball movement today. Defensively, they're holding up relatively strong, but just the ability to transition from D50 inside their forward 50 it's a little bit rusty at the moment.
There's no one willing to lower the eyes at the moment. Solder, that was a nice palm to Miles, and then the clearing kick out of there. Just went deep. Now at the back. That's what you need. That's more. Just took it on the chest, outbodied his opponent. Now watch this. I bet you kicks a drop punt from here. He's not going to go over the shoulder from 30 out directly in front.
It's on in the middle again here.
I've seen them kick right foot bananas from there.
So
on the run, though.
Pitnet into Townsend, and there's a little bit of feeling in this game now.
You can just see it escalating at some point, can't you?
These are the goals Callum Moore has to kick.
Quite
he does.
If you're going from Warple there into the breadbasket of Sam Lloyd.
So Moore's pushed it. He's just hung it out to the left. Opposite side to where he sprayed it to earlier. Maybe the left foot bender might be a go now. So Mira need to bring it back in for Box Hill. Continues to rack up the numbers. He's just going to go long. Schoenmakers was out this side and he's overstepped the line. You can't be making those sort of errors at this level.
And not on days like this either.
Any level, yes.
No excuse. You've got 10 metres to kick the ball in.
Why do you have to get that close to the line? It's the same as cricket. Why do you have to have your foot?
Exactly. You've got 65 metres to bowl it from. There's no reason to push it right up there.
Tigers dangerous here with the likes of Stengel and Bolton at ground level.
Fumble from Andrew Moore. It's going to come off. That hasn't been paid as 15. It was Dorian who was tackled as soon as he gathered the football. And we'll have a ball up.
You felt as though Dorian thought that had gone 15 and was just happy to hold it up.
I actually thought it was a mark.
Yeah.
Townsend tries to go through. Stengel does. Impossible angle. Oh, I tell you what, he gave it a good cider.
I was ready to get up in the bed. I thought from here that had gone the right side of the goalpost.
Richmond 5 behinds. Box Hill 2-3-15, and they've got another chance here, although Miles got the hand pass back to Hams. Mirror steps around Coleman Jones, chips it short, and an opportunity here for Richmond to bring it back. Morris. Quick kick outside of the boot. Garthwaite. Baker with the flight of the ball. Mirror got the fist in. Arts, can he get a kick away? He does get a kick away. Jake Arts kicks the goal for the Tigers and gets them on the board at last.
Big pat on the back. Good stiff arm, a big pat on the back to Liam Baker there. It was a 2v1 contest in the air, and the little man brought it to ground, and Jake Arts, which is great in the contest, on the left boot, and he's a classy player.
Spot on, that Baker going back with the flight. Yeah, he's not a big bloke.
No.
He's probably one of the smaller ones out there, and to have that sort of courage was super, especially with Miro coming at him with
8 minutes and 20 in the second quarter for Richmond to get on the board, the most prolific team in the competition.
And would you believe they're only 4 points behind? It's an incredible game this at times.
Richmond 1-5-11. Box Hill Hawks 2-3-15 here at the Swinburne Centre in the second quarter. 9 minutes gone.
Solder very good that last centre bounce, getting it down to Miles, who got it to Coriolis. Let's see what he does here.
It was looking for it again, but Warple roved it on that occasion. He knew where the tap was going. Then he just sinks a mongrel punt inside forward 50, and Lloyd just playing loose in defence there. Able to take a nice simple one on the chest. Now, Lloyd, if you know what's good for you, just bring it out this side. And he does. And the kick was looking for manager and went over the top and out of play.
Yeah, I think Sam Lloyd looks like he's going to be rotating off half back and through the wing and with stints in the midfield.
I like that. He's generally a good user of the footy.
Good in the contest, good user of the footy, generally good in the air. No, very smart player.
Still plenty of push and shove in this one. It's a bit of feeling.
Camden McIntosh and Harrison Jones having a bit of a how do you do.
That's what you want. So Soldo with the palm and Warple roved it again. There was a copy of moments ago as manager got involved. There was a soccer.
Good
now
hands by
Miles
Nash
getting away, got the hands out to Moore. He's going to take him on. The bounce, it came back to him. He runs to 50. There's a free kick for a blue behind the footy.
It's on again.
Because the shot on goal's gone through and Moore's celebrating with the umpire saying no.
Townsend's
and it is
the base
on.
Of this again.
I want to know we don't know who the free kick's to yet.
Lloyd,
this is going to
Lloyd
escalate.
has unloaded Jones. It's a free kick to the Hawks and now a 50-metre penalty. So this is a big turnover. Warple is going to go down and line up for goal from 20 metres out after Callum Moore kicked, well, a second goal of the week contender in a row.
And there's a bloke standing on the bench here for Richmond. He's shattered. He's not in the middle of that right now.
Well, this is the time where the leaders have got to stand up. They've got to cool this down. It's starting to escalate a bit. This is going to be a 2-goal turnaround, you'd assume.
I think they might need to get Jacob Townsend off
for
a bit of a spell.
Him off.
For either way, because he's a bit fired up and the Hawks are after him and they're baiting him.
Well, generally, he's a pretty a cool customer. He's hard as a cat's head, but he's generally a pretty cool customer. But they've got under his skin today.
And Warple just slots it through. So we had Callum Moore, who's just streamed through the middle moments ago. He's taken 2 bounces and slotted one from 50 and celebrated like he'd kicked the goal of the year. Gets taken off him and Warple goes up the other end and slots it.
You'd wonder what is whether anything's being said to fire.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Yeah,
after that original incident,
it'd be weighing on his mind. It looks definitely to be weighing on his mind. He's just got to collect himself here.
He's staying out there. He's gone to
centre
half forward.
Which
2017 enlisted medalist. Just got to cool the jets a bit.
And Harrison Jones is into him again.
I think it was Jones and Townsend. Was it Jones and Townsend in the middle?
Jones was involved with a couple of others as well. He's having a bit to say. Ball over the top. Tigers need that back. That was a 12-point turnaround. Wood, McIntosh, Baker steps around. Great hand pass. Bolton from 50. Shea Bolton to the pocket. Moore couldn't quite get there. Did he get a hand on it? He did. And it'll be a boundary throw in.
Much better by the Tigers there. Sharp hands in close, releasing Shea Bolton. The kick just drifted with the pressure on the kick, but and Callum Moore's looking very dangerous this quarter.
Yeah, I suppose it's a shame that he had that goal taken off him.
Because it was a belter of a goal.
Yeah, it's exactly what he can do.
Especially for a big bloke. So thrown in, Pitney with the palm down, Bolton with the tackle, Townsend was involved, ends up now with a flying shot on goal, and how about that? That was Patrick Nash.
It runs in the blood.
He just shrugged the tackle and got on the right slipper and through she went.
Much better by the Tigers there. Very strong in the contest, and Nash, for an 18-year-old, 19-year-old that's the slot of build, that was extremely strong in the contest. Stood up in the tackle and able to snap in on his right foot.
So the Tigers with the second on the board, 2-5-17, trailing Box Hill 3-3-21. Travelled almost 13 minutes in the second term. Townsend now coming for a spell.
This is a good game, boys.
This is. They're always good when there's a bit of feeling in them as well.
Yeah.
It's a tough contest at the moment.
Box Hill trying to fight to get back into the top 4. And Richmond just trying to flex its ascendancy.
Now, what
the competition?
Getting a fair talking to at the moment.
I think Craig McRae just trying to understand what happened with Townsend. He's just trying to cool him down, just to probably just reiterating just to play to his strengths and just do that kind of stuff.
Don't let them bait you.
Exactly right.
I've liked the game of this guy so far too. He's just cleared it out there. Warple got the kick in long, came off hands. The roving was good, and then stepping back inside, that was Dorian.
Good goal.
Right foot banana. Look at that. He slotted it. Box Hill with the quick reply. 4-3-27. Richmond 2-5-17.
That was just an outstanding piece of play.
Yeah, first goal in VFL football for Mackenzie Dorian in his third game, the 18-year-old.
He just found himself in a little bit of space at the front of that contest, didn't he, once it came off hands. Just gave him plenty of time to get on his preferred foot and slot that one through.
Yeah, it's one to remember, isn't it, when you can
if you're going to kick your first goal, you don't want a cheap one over the top, do you?
Yes.
So something to talk about. I dodged this way, I went the other way, I got past a couple of them, I turned them inside out and then snapped it over my shoulder from about 80 metres out.
Yeah, just put a bit of mayo on it. That's what we like.
Exactly. So a 10-point lead to the Box Hill Hawks midway through the second quarter, 14 minutes gone. One down by the Hawks, trying to go through O'Donnell. Heard a voice, hand pass out wide. Oh, great dodging work there from Jones. His hand pass not as good. Bolton's under the pump now. Just got a hand pass away in time. Morris towards half forward. Beautiful lace-out kick to Callum Moore. He is 2 kicks from home. Goes towards Stengel. 2 movements. Didn't take the mark. Umpire said goal anyway.
End-to-end stuff now.
Oh, possibly a push in the back.
I thought there was 2 palms in the back, to be honest.
I was waiting for that to be paid, and then the mark wasn't paid when it looked like a clear mark. If it's not a free kick, you'd think it's a mark, but it doesn't matter. He kicked the goal anyway.
Put that goal down to Shea Bolton, his ability to stay poised in the contest. Yeah. He was getting tackled, but he found the right option. Morris found Callum Moore and then Tyson Stengel.
Well, and you know who's just threatening to tear this game apart is Callum Moore.
Yeah, he is,
He's been involved again there. He's had, if you include the goal he kicked that wasn't allowed, he's had 3 shots on goal. He's getting involved up the ground as well. He's showing a good burst of speed. So this game's opened it up, and all of a sudden we're starting to see some individual brilliance out there.
And also the sun shining, Jim, making us look like fools.
Haven't seen the sun for about 3 days, have we? Good to see it back. Hopefully it stays.
Yes, I tell you, was it Thursday, the coldest day in June in 25 years?
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, that wasn't fun.
No.
So I was outside in a polo shirt all day. That was really fun. Free kick to the Hawks out of the centre. Andrew Moore gives the hand pass off. Running for him is Dylan Moore. Kicks towards full forward. Oh, too strong. Great play that from Ryan Schoenmakers. He just pushed Ryan Garthwaite out of the way with strength and took an uncontested mark in the end. 35 metres out, just off directly in front. You'd back him to kick the goal from here.
He engaged early, which I like. He engaged Garthwaite early, got him off balance, and then was relatively an uncontested mark after he just used his strength.
Schoenmakers from 40 metres out, kicks, and it fades on its trajectory. He misses.
He thought it was a goal.
He thought it was a goal.
He's not happy at all.
And I tell you what, from this angle, it was close. A goal as well.
It was very close.
Yeah, on the money there. Just over the top of the post almost. It's kicked back into play, went short to Garthwaite in the pocket. If he looks up the line, he's got Soldo there, Townsend as well.
Say it again, happy 20th birthday today to Ryan Garthwaite. Now that we're on air, we can wish him a happy birthday.
Nice kick inside forward 50, and Box Hill got a number. Uncontested mark taken from Jackson Ross.
They just held up in the breeze, and Jackson Ross was just in the right place at the right time.
It's one of those ones you're underneath it, and you just know the contact's coming, and on this occasion it didn't. He was lucky enough to take the mark. Now, we've seen him have 2 shots on goal so far at the other end.
It's going to be a tough one, I reckon.
The breeze seems to be playing havoc at the
Yeah, it's a bit blustery.
He's got to aim right goalpost, doesn't he? The way that last one curved from Schoenmakers.
So Ross, he has kicked a mongrel helicopter punt that didn't even get the journey.
That was a finger breaker. that was a shocker.
Yeah. He's having a good day in front of the sticks.
Yeah. He's flying enough from the ball.
He is. Exactly.
His finishing in front of goal is something you'd like to improve.
Just not quite there. As the clearing kick comes out of there, Pitney is going to come up to it. Lloyd got the front position. He couldn't quite take it. Morris had just slid off his chest, and then he picked it up again. Wood was in the way. Soldo just slapped it out to Bolton. If he gets her, he's away. The ball doesn't sit for him, and it's taken over the line. That was good pressure up on the footy there. That was by Heatherly.
Yeah, because Bolton was out then, and they had numbers forward of the ball. Kurt Heatherly cut him off at the pass and got a stoppage.
It did, and Heatherly, he came up off his man to affect that, because he knew if Bolton got that footy, look out.
Yep.
So, ruckman to go on the boundary line right in front of our broadcast position. Soldo front, won it down. Wood wrapped up by the big Hawk Pitnet. And we'll have a ball up. So 6 points the margin in favour of the Box Hill Hawks as we tick towards time on in the second quarter. It's opened up a bit this term. Quick little hand pass through came from Warple. Cousins' kick was partially smothered and trickles away for a boundary throw-in.
Midfield-wise, both sides are having little patches of dominance at the moment. Box Hill Hawks just a bit sharper around the stoppages. than the Tigers. Soldo's getting his hand on the ball, but yeah, James Warple's just sweating on it.
So, Hawks at half forward. Is that a Shepherd or a push? It's a Shepherd.
And it was always there as soon as Soldo took his eyes off the footy.
He took his eyes, he looked back to see where his opposite number Pitnet was, and he's turned it over Pitnet, taken by Baker.
That's why Ruckman don't kick into the corridor.
You just bang it long, don't you?
Just
Baker
play within your limitations.
Corey
nice
Ellis
and simple.
on the halfback flank. Ellis drives it long towards half forward. The big men are there. Oh, and it almost landed in the lap of Townsend. He dropped the mark. Hand pass over the top there from Heatherly. Hawks can build, stepping around one there was Ross. He kicks long towards half forward. Schoenmakers did well. Got there, too far out to score. Wants to go onto the left boot, does. Drives it towards full forward. That's a beautiful kick from Ryan Schoenmakers. And the mark is taken for Box Hill by Dylan Moore.
That was a ripper. Absolute ripper. Moore just kind of ghosted into the space, and Schoenmakers put it on an absolute platter for him.
He did well, didn't he? He didn't sit it up either. He just drilled it in there.
And he was smart enough to call Willsmore out too, who was coming back with the hands up. So Dylan Moore from 30 metres out, directly in front. He's poked at it a little bit, and he hasn't made the distance.
That's incredible, isn't it?
No, in these conditions, you can't lean back on it. You can't poke at it. You just got to kick through the ball.
Because you don't know what sort of gust of wind you're going to get at any point. You just got to drill it.
Box Hill 4-6-30, Richmond 3-5-23, 20.5 minutes gone, second quarter at the Swinburne Centre.
Garthwaite just cleared the area well. I thought the mark was taken, and it was. It was paid in the end. That was to Mitchell Lewis, and who I've liked the look of today. He's been strong in the contest. So Lewis, he's just going to dump this one in deep.
Oh, that's not the kick.
It's in the pocket. Going back with the flight was Ross. Couldn't get a hand on it.
He did get a hand
on it. He did get a hand on it. Right, wow.
You generally see those ones paid.
You do often when it's just that sort of that touching close. They just let it go and the mark's paid, but not on that occasion. So Box Hill with a chance now. Stoppage in a good position. Be thrown in 20 around from their goal.
Brendan Whitecross just sitting off the stoppage here. He's in a bit of space.
Soldo just took it out of the ruck. Went over the head of Whitecross. Now he goes and gathers it, taps it out in front of himself. He can pick it up eventually, get the hands out the back. Now sending in is Mitchell Lewis again. But Richmond have got the numbers in a dangerous position. I'll tell you what, I thought old mate there and Benny Miller was off. He went back down, was able to give the hands to Lloyd. Goes out wide, Garthwaite there. Lloyd gets it again. Just tries to sell a little bit of candy. Step back in board, and he does it well. He's going to spear it up the wing. Needs to hit a target, and he does. That's Townsend. Just looking to have calmed down a little bit. Just chips it further afield. Mark will be taken there. No, it won't be. Ballard couldn't quite hold on to it. Box Hill with numbers if they can work it out. Ballard's pressure's good. But Box Hill with those numbers can get it out. A few handballs in and ends up with Moore who gives it off. Getting involved there as well was Willsmore.
He dropped
free kick here to the Tigers.
It will be a free kick
for
first,
Willsmore, and then he blatantly threw his man out of the way.
Poor kick in board, but it'll work in the end. They're going to get this. Somehow they're going to pull this off. It ends up with Bolton. He's going to give the hands over top to Moore. Can he finally get his goal? No, he gives it back to Arts. He's going to get a flying shot on goal. It's going to go to the pocket. Stangles out the back, but it hits the point post on the full. Box Hill will win the free kick.
Good pressure there by Box Hill because the Tigers were out. They was able to hold them up.
They had four numbers running in a wave.
Yeah.
Did the Tigers and just couldn't work it out. They ended up getting a hurried shot on goal.
Long ball brought back into play there by Cousins up towards halfback. Ground level ball caught with it was Andrew Moore and helped over the line by Callum Moore. There's a lot more players out there today, isn't there? I know that's lame. I was trying to come up with
that's some really crisp work.
3 of them out there playing today.
I'd like you to get a mirror pun in there at some stage.
I'm staying away from these. These are some real ordinary work.
Pitnet won it down straight out of the contest.
Speak about ordinary, look at the hair.
Yes, it is James Warple, the Warpedo he calls himself. Hand pass out from Silvestro after he lost possession of the football. Menadue now to Morris, now to Silvestro. He goes long towards half forward. Numbers with the Hawks. Arriving on the charge was Coleman Jones. There's a whistle. Advantage taken. Arts will run into the open goal and kick his second.
Now the whistle, I thought that was a Box Hill free kick for Townsend engaging late, but obviously not. The Tigers through Arts.
Well, that's what the Hawks are asking the question. They thought it was their free kick, but It must have been a push on Coleman Jones coming into the contest potentially. But Jake Arts was right on the ball, and away he went and kicked his second goal. And it's back to a point the difference. Richmond 4-5-29, Box Hill 4-6-30 here at the Swinburne Centre. Peter Jackson VFL round 13 action.
This is a high quality game of footy. The score would not suggest that, being 29-30 at nearly half time, but this is a high quality game of footy.
It is. It's just both teams have been ferocious in their attack on this contest.
Box Hill might be fifth, but it's two genuine top four teams, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So away we go again. Soldo with a nice little fly, got the palm down. Miles tried to rover, couldn't do so. And then the Hawks with the numbers out towards the wing. A spearing kick inside forward 50. Showmaker's trying to get in a good position. He turns his man, then goes for the footy. Morris was working hard, got involved. Warple was there in support for Showmakers, but he's thrown over the line.
Good work by Bolter then. Showmaker was trying to body him off the footy, but he kept his feet, stayed in the contest, and forced his stoppage. Developing play, Noah Bolter. Plays forward back. Has his stints in the ruck.
He's got plenty to his game.
Different role every time I've seen him play, Noah Bolter, which is good to see, to get those extra strings to the bow.
So thrown back in. 45 round from the Box Hill goal. Tap came out the back of the contest. Box Hill with the numbers, ends up in the hands of Dorian. Just going to go long. The wind just brings it back to a dangerous position. McIntosh will take it off the back of the contest, though, and try and clear the footy. Goes short. Silvestro was there. He's going to gather it now, give the hands over the top. So Baker trying to get involved. Now the kick will go up the line.
After the...
There's more.
There was a hit after the kick.
Yeah, it was. It's just a late hit.
Yeah, Brendan Whitecross it was, and knocked him over.
Now they've...
No, they don't need to do it. I don't know why players do it. They don't need to.
It's not necessary.
No.
And I like the smarts of Callum Moore there to think that the free kick wasn't going to be paid downfield and just kicked it 50 metres away. But he'll take it now. Eventually works his way back to him. He'll look up. And here we go again. He'll just sit it up and hope for the best.
Bolton.
Needs a fly. Bolton ran straight under the footy, and Pitney almost took an uncontested one at the back. So now we'll see, as the big ruckman learnt, don't go inboard. And he doesn't. That's what you do. Just goes down the wing. Garthwaite at the back with the fist. Gets out the back. Ross was there. He'll gather it now. Tries to pick it up. McIntosh put the pressure on there. Ross just slapped it forward, but Richmond with the numbers. Wood was involved. Got it back. Garthwaite there. Gives the hands off, and he missed his man. That was Caulfield he missed, and it just went straight over the line.
With the blustery conditions, those short kicks from both sides have turned it over in the corridor.
Yeah.
They're just not on today.
You don't take the gamble, do you?
No.
It's just summing it up.
It's interesting. The Hawks have played one man short. The young fella, Chenkwath Giath, hasn't come on the ground yet. He's been doing some run-throughs along the sidelines, but he hasn't seen any game time yet, so we expect to see him in the second half. As the Hawks go inside forward 50, Morris flies in from the side. Garthwaite with the fist. Front and centre, Willsmore working through here. Hawks. Lewis overran the ball. Garthwaite couldn't pick it up. Went in again. Managed to shovel it out the front. Stolen off the boot. Quick kick on goal from Hanrahan is just off target and through for one behind. Hawks 4-7-31. Tigers 4-5-29. 27 minutes gone in the second quarter.
Now at the kick in here, you've got Showbolton, Baker and Stengler all calling for it. And they go the dangerous kick up the middle to Soldo. It's cut off by Moore, but the mark wasn't paid. And Soldo dumped him. We'll have a ball up 50 out from the Box Hill goal. They got a 2-point lead. Trying to extend it late in the half.
That wasn't the kick on the kick out. The Soldo had just too much pressure on the other
one. It wasn't the one to go.
No.
I mean, there was the three little blokes out here in Stengel, Baker and Bolton. I think that was the kick, even though they weren't the biggest blokes. And just clearing away from that contest. Wow, that was Cousins. Sends it into the pocket. The mark's taken. I reckon that's Mitchell Lewis, and he looks to have hurt his leg.
Rolled his ankle on
landing. On landing. Did just get caught under Garthwaite in the contest, maybe, and came down.
Here's Lewis. He's quite sore, trying to get to his feet.
Push and shove again. There's been plenty of it today, and it's going to be on again here.
Mark Pitnet is trying to throw his weight around.
Wood and Pitnet.
He loves it as Pitnet, doesn't he?
Jones is in there. He's had a bit to say.
There's a bit more.
Andrew Moore's just throwing his weight around as well in there.
We've got two little scuffles about 25 metres away from each other.
Meanwhile, Lewis has recovered.
And Warple's going to get the shot on goal.
Taking the goal, so Lewis is going to limp off.
So Warple.
He's kicked 3 goals, 4 for the season before today, Warple. A goal
one today already.
Quarter.
And he's made no mistake there. That was a real classy finish too. So Box Hill get their 5th. 5-7-37 lead the Tigers a 4-5-29, I believe it was.
Correct.
And as we see the goal graphic up on the big screen. I like the timing, 4-5-29. 29 minutes gone. Warple's game's been good today, hasn't he? He's
been sharp around the clearance.
He has been. His clearance work's been super. And he hasn't got the biggest frame about him, but he's been strong when tackled too. He's been able to stand up in the tackle on occasions as well. So impressive stuff. Just needs to sort out the top of his head.
He's strong through the core. His ability to read it off Solido's hands has been quite impressive as well.
So Box Hill Hawks continue to hold sway here at the Swinburne Centre. Here is Warple. Got to his feet and threw it on the boot. Goes inside 50. It bounces the wrong way for Nash. Ground level ball out the back. Quick snap from Ross. Oh, that was his best effort too. He just hit the post.
He was sizing up a boundary line celebration too.
He can't take a trick, Jackson Ross.
And he can't. It's just not his day.
No.
3 behinds he's kicked, 2 of them absolute sitters. The margin is 9 points in favour of Box Hill as we head towards half-time, and it's with Sam Lloyd deep in the back pocket.
So Lloyd's just going to look up the line, and he's just going to kick for distance. Bolton was going to fly. He went underneath the footy. Hawks with the numbers out the back. That was Brand who gathered it, gave it off. Gets it back. No, he doesn't. Tackle laid by Bolton. It was shrugged. We'll have a throw in centre wing out of side.
It's going to be interesting to see with James Warple in the kind of form he's in. Does Craig McRae reset at half time and maybe set a player to play on Warple? Tagging's not something that Richmond does regularly.
Yeah, but when you've got someone that's having that sort of effect at the clearance, at the stoppages, you sort of need it. And there he is again involved. That was his classy hands that got that one out. Whitecross was involved, and now the kick going forward wasn't a great one. It's given Richmond a chance. Garthwaite with the fist, as he so often does. That was Lloyd. It was a bit of a hurried effort. Worked his way over the line. But, yeah, just back on Warple, you just... so many times, as we saw then, they're getting that break, and it's because of his clearance work.
And with Richmond's game based on territory, if they're not winning it at the source, it makes it all that tougher when they've got to transition from
Makes
D50.
it hard, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So boundary throw in half forward for Box Hill. Richmond need a goal before half time. Quick snap from Warple inside 50 it goes. Tigers with the numbers. Oh, he's in trouble here, Naish. Umpire let him off. Thought he didn't really get a clear possession away. Lloyd is buried into the ground, and that is a push in the back. So free kick to Lloyd in the last line. He goes to the goal square, and the mark is taken there by Naish. So the Tigers trying to work it out. Naish given the hurry up, so he drives it long down the broadcast wing. A big flight bolter up before acceptances, and there is a push.
Unrealistic attempt.
No, it's going at the front. Yeah. No, she's pointed the wrong way. The umpire has pointed the wrong way. Correctly.
At the play whose free kick it was, I think.
Hams gave the hand pass to Heatherly, who was under the pump. He got it to Miles, kick inside 50, and Willsmore takes the mark. Wasn't the smartest of handballs, was it?
No.
Heatherly, it's probably more Heatherly's mistake for calling for it.
Yeah.
Dallas Willsmore has been moved around a couple of metres. The man on the mark is at 48. So it will take everything he's got. He needs to aim right. He decides to spear to the lead, and it's over the head. Tigers with the numbers. Although they're going to have a chance here, Moore tries to dribble it from the impossible angle and just puts it over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Steve Morris a bit sore after that contest.
He's a little bit. He's just taking a few deep ones. So it'll be thrown in 5 around from the behind post. Box Hill in attack. Have they got time for one more as we approach the 33-minute mark of this second term?
4 goals each in this quarter.
Comes off hands. Morris just got a little kick away there and then got another one. He's just copping it from all angles. And would you believe the umpire's paid it deliberate? You can't be paying that. That's just a soccer and hope to clear the area. It's not his fault. He almost missed his foot and went out to the side, and that's the right result, I feel.
He's lumped over in pain, kicking it off the ground.
I reckon he's got a rib problem.
Yeah, I think he's got a big rib problem. I reckon he got it collected a knee in the left ribs there. He could be very, very sore.
But he's a tough bloke. Look at him. He'll still jog off the ground. So now the kick for the Tigers trying to clear the space. Townsend at the back, bounced off his chest. Hawks just got a soccer out of there. Baker went and got it. He's got a man over the top in Miles. He takes it and shrugs a couple, but he got one high. It's just a swinging arm late. And he just took one across the chops. And then he'll...
Tia Miles, that was, I think.
So now he just goes long. Here we go. So now the kick wasn't a great one. I was waiting for some ordinary sort of punt again. We didn't see it. And a free kick for pushing the back goes away the Tigers. Have they got time as we approach 34 minutes now? It just keeps going.
2 miles aren't quite as far as 500.
Oh, no. We need half time. We need a spell. The kick went long.
Oh!
It's almost gone through. Oh,
Free kick.
minus score.
Free kick.
Is it a free kick?
Free kick on the line to Box Hill. Heatherly.
My
Kurt
God.
Heatherly will take that. He's kicked that an absolute mile.
Oh, he gave it a roost and it just kept going. There must be a breeze. So Heatherly's just going to clear the space. He's only kicked it about 45, comes off hands to the front. Here's the numbers. Stengel, right foot banana across the face.
Right
No,
it
it's
down.
through.
It's through.
Right, it
Apologies, the umpire did a bit of work, but it was unnecessary as the goal is put in the book. 5-5-35, trailing the Hawks at 38 by just 3 points.
Now, that was great work in the contest with the clear and kick. Ryan Garthwaite came over the top. He got
Big
a really
fist,
good fist on
Yeah.
it, which cleared the Box Hill Hawks players at the fall of the ball. Fell in the arms of Stengel.
Well, they
He
did.
the
Box
rest.
Hill had 4. I
Yeah.
reckon there would have been at least 4 players
Yep.
at the bottom of that contest. If it came down, they had the run. They were going to share it and just fly through the middle of the ground. And that fist just worked out perfectly for Stengel, and the finish was just as good. So 3 points nearing half-time sounds about right.
Yep, absolutely.
It's his role today, Garthwaite. He's get the fist into the ball, thump it as far as you can.
He does, doesn't he? He's just got to kill everything in the air. Now, I like this too. Bolton's going to come off the back of the square here if he can get free, and he does. Ball's bounced. Soldo just went with the palm and missed it as the siren sounds for half-time. Now we'll just see if there's any little feeling here.
There's
Richmond
a little bit.
5-5-35 to
Go after
5-8-38. There'll be a bit. Pitney's in there. Lloyd's involved, and I reckon this one will just diffuse and there'll be nothing. Where's Townsend? He's just going to jog over. The umpires are there too.
Snipper Miles just came in and said, hey, guys,
Just really
Come on.
dumb
don't
it
be
down.
stupid.
Warple's Townsend just went over and said, Warple, there you go.
So,
So an entertaining first half. 35 minutes of footy in that second term, and all of it was good. We had blues, we had goals, we had butchered kicks, we had good kicks. We just had everything. That's a simple way of putting it.
Now, Jacob Townsend, he's just, I don't know who he's having a word to, but he's rattled.
Nah.
He's got to regroup at half time. He's a very, very good footballer. It hasn't been his day so far, but let's see how he can.
I reckon he's filthy. There wasn't a blue then. He was looking for it. He was just probably disappointed he was 50 metres off the footy when the sign went. Morris will get over to his teammates as well. They all get around him. They know he's put his body on the line.
okay, so Box Hill Hawks 5-8-38, leading Richmond 5-5-35. Goal scorers for the Hawks, 2 to Warple, and singles to Schoenmakers, Moore, that's Dylan Moore and Dorian. For Richmond, 2 goals to Stengel and singles to, 2 also to Jake Arts and 1 to Patrick Naish. A couple of close ones going on around the grounds. Dying stages. Footscray 10-11-71 leading the Northern Blues 10-5-65. And Geelong 8-10-58 leading Werribee 7-8-50 approaching three-quarter time.
So some cracking contests going on today. Brendan, just before we go to halftime, just your thoughts quickly. Where's this game sitting? Who's going to break it open in the second half?
Second half, he's going to be at the source. If James Warple can continue his form
Yep.
around the ball, you'd assume Box Hill would edge out the Tigers. But if the Tigers can start to neutralise the ball at the stoppages and centre clearances, sit on Warple a bit, I think then the likes of Miles and Corey Ellis can come into the game and get their territory game up and going, get repeat entries in the likes of Arts and Stengel, and Bolton was pretty good that quarter too.
Yep.
They can really come into their own.
I love it. Good analysis as always. We might just have a break. We'll just go and reassess as well, and we might just, when we come back at three-quarter time, leave all the ordinary puns in the sheds. We don't need them. At halftime, Richmond trailing Box Hill 5-5-35, 5-8-38. Welcome back to the Swinburne Centre VFL action. Richmond v Box Hill. Box Hill leading this one 5-8-38 to the Tigers 5-5-35. It's been a fiery first half. Plenty of blues. Not a huge amount of scoring picked up in the second term, but we've got one hell of a game on our hands here. So we just have the players and so on move to position. Everyone getting off the ground. Box Hill look like they're trying to work something out. They've still got they got an extra one out there, or?
Yeah, it looks like they do.
They do.
Want to hurry up and they sneak him off in time.
Yeah, James Cousins rushing to the bench.
They've made a meal of that, but they got lucky in the end as the ball's bounced in the centre. I like that. Take the game on and bounce it. The umpire does. Now the clearance through Miles, gets it off to Bolton, who's going to get a clearing kick out of there towards the forward flank. Arts underneath it. He just gathers it and goes. Gives one over the top. Moore's got it. Can he get his goal now? He runs to 35 and spears it across the face for a minor score.
That's a tough one when the breeze is shooting out from the teeth of goal. It's a tough one to try and spear through.
Yes, it is.
That was a ripping start. Clean out of the middle. Shea Bolton, very electric. And ripping mark by Arts too, needs to play on. But unfortunately, Moore just slide off to the left.
I loved how Arts was quick to his feet too, and then he gets involved there as well, puts a bit of pressure on. Then Moore with the follow-up tackle. That was good, and he's pinned his man. That was Mitchell O'Donnell gone.
That's Richmond footy there, Jim.
Yeah.
Forward half turnover, pressure of the ball carrier, and forces another shot on goal to Callum Moore.
So Moore.
I reckon he was a little bit in two minds on his previous shot. He was sort of looking inboard.
Yeah, it was,
Whether instead of just running straight at the goal and kicking it.
Now, this is going to be a tough kick. He's going to have to hang it.
It's a similar spot to earlier, but does he sit it up a bit higher on this occasion? I think he has to.
He needs a big swing on this.
We've got Bolton just sneaking in to the top of the goal square here. He's a very good spot. Yeah.
So Moore, his third shot on goal. He's kicked three behinds, and that one he did it just as Brendan said a moment ago. Big right to left bender was needed. Just hung it out too far. So that's his fourth behind for the day. 2 in the second, 2 in the third. He's had chances. So Mira kicks it to himself on this occasion and just skips out of the square and then sends it long. Soldo was underneath. It came out the back. The Tigers trying to work it out. So Bolton getting involved. Go to hands out the back. Alice with it. He gives it off, and now the hands along the line. Now a kick in towards the hot spot. Moore's underneath it. The Flyers coming at the front. Is that
Coleman Jones?
Coleman Jones, yep.
A 19-year-old.
Was too.
He's impressive overhead. I know he's 200 centimetres, but he's very strong in the air. Takes it at the highest point. That was a good mark. We had Callum Moore coming flying over the top. That was just a one clunk.
He just held his ground, didn't he?
This side of his game is pretty reliable, I feel.
Yeah. So
9 goals, 3 for the season.
So Coleman Jones, chance to put through the first to the third term, and he makes no mistake. He did that well, kick to the right-hand goalpost, and it was there. So the Tigers hit the front. They moved to 6-7-43. Box Hill 5-8-38, early stages of the third term.
They've been able to lock the ball in their forward half in the opening minutes of this third quarter. Repeat entries, and that one by Callum Coleman Jones was the reward they were after, and they've started very, very well in this third quarter.
Around the grounds, Footscray has beaten the Northern Blues by 6 points, 10-11-71 to 10-5-65. And 10 minutes into the third quarter, Geelong 8-14-62 lead Werribee 7-9-51.
Being wasteful, Geelong.
They have.
Down to GMHBA Stadium.
It is an early game down there.
It'll be frosty down there today, I'd assume, Jim.
Kicking the dew off.
Would be down that part of the world.
Bounce of the ball back in the centre. Richmond leading for the first time today. Stepping through was Bolton. He got a high tackle and he didn't worry. He just kept going. Kicks in towards centre half forward. Chance for Coleman Jones. Townsend there as well. Had a quiet first half possession-wise. Quick kick from Mira, who stole it from him. McIntosh, Giats on the ground. Brought the ball to the turf. Ellis did well. Lloyd kicks inside 50. It's going to be in front of Coleman Jones. Fed the handball back to Baker, in trouble. Out to Silvestro. Chance here for Arts. He's already kicked 2. Centering ball across the face of goal. He kicked it far too hard for Stengel, who was on his own at the top of the goal square. And it went well over his head and bounced away for a throw-in.
They're looking sharp, the Tigers.
They are, and it's Bolton's electric start to this third term. It's just in a moment ago. He plays a lot of twos footy, does Bolton. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of clubs queuing up to try and get access.
I think the clubs are starting to form the queue already, Jim.
Here he is again, Bolton, and he gets a high tackle.
No, he's given one away.
That's interesting.
That is a shocking rule.
For below the knees contact.
Oh, he's off here.
Yeah, this is Willsmore under the pump. Got it back to Jones out towards the wing. Beautiful kick that was for Ross. Ross goes towards half forward. Called out was Hanrahan. Mark taken there by the Hawks. Kick inside 50 and a good mark taken by Connor Nash. And he can go back and line up. It was Schoenmakers who hit him. And Nash can kick from 35 metres out directly in front.
The quick movement just gave him a chance to lose Ben Miller there quite easily, didn't it? They moved it quickly, going back with the flight he was, and then was able to turn him round. It was super stuff.
Mitchell Lewis just comes back onto the ground with his right knee taped after that injury in the second quarter. Still doesn't look quite free moving as Nash comes in and misses. Should have done much better than that from there.
Been impressed with Ryan Schoenmaker's delivery inside forward 50 today. For a big man, he's got a lot of skill on that left foot.
Box Hill 5-9-39, Richmond 6-7-43. 5 minutes 20 gone in the third quarter at Swinburne Centre.
So the kick comes down the line. Moore comes up with the footy and takes it well. It's been a presence all day.
Got Callum Coleman-Jones and Townsend and Solder coming over here for the contest down the line.
So that tells you exactly what's going to happen. They're just going to sit it up, and then the kick just went straight to Pitney. Soldo got in there. I thought he chopped the arms. Baker with it. Went for the handball to Bolton. Intercept was good. Warple was involved, and now it's going to end up further afield. There was nice with a big hit, and I'm not sure if the advantage has been paid. There's a lot of whistles going around, and it will be brought back, and the free kick will go the way. That's of Will Hams.
Round arm to the bread basket. To the chest region.
Matey Mooney's free kick.
Yeah.
So Hams just with the left boot just sends it in along. He needs a flyer. An uncontested mark there from Pitney, but there's a free kick for a push.
Yeah, that was there.
So the Tigers can reload. There's numbers out here. Colin Jones was calling for it. Didn't go to him. They just went up the middle. That was Alice, and he's got one over the top. He chooses to go further afield to Arts, who's got some space. If he gathers it, he's got Mirror for company. He tried to just pick it up in one hand, put on the boot. Soldo put his head over the footy, and that's got to be a free kick. It's not. Soldo just ends up with it again while he's lying flat on his back. And now Box Hill, they're going to try and take it out right. A good smother, though, from Alice got there. He's going for it again. He keeps his feet well, gets the hands off. Arts is involved. He looks for another handball in the chain. Coleman Jones was there. Now it works its way to the top of the goal square. They can raffle it. Hill. Silvestro kicks it. Great pressure, Tigers, as they worked it out in the end and got the reward. 7-7-49. They lead this one by 10 points. Box Hill 5-9-39.
Corey Ellis take a bow. That smother was outstanding. Didn't they flick it around inside 50 and then got the Tommy Silvestro open in the goal square and easy as you like.
Well,
They just kept having that next one,
didn't they? Yeah, just kept going with the overlap, didn't they? And they did well to not get rattled and make it work after Soldo was basically
decapitated inside 450.
Just the front on bump
like
to the top of the head.
That sort of incident at the top level is almost a week these days.
Yeah, well, it probably is.
And it's gone unnoticed.
So, 10 points the lead for Richmond. They've come out fired up in the third quarter. Soldo flicks it over the back. Slipping into the tackle there was, I think that is Cousins, is it, off the line?
I think it was Warple. And he went the fend off, which generally means you've given up any prior opportunity.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
He was slipping at the same time, which is probably the only thing that saved him. As Bolton tried to work through a Miles. Hand pass out the back. Here's Lloyd. Gets around onto the outside of the right boot. No left for him. Towards forward 50. Ballard back on the ground. Can he get a possession away? He can't. It'll be wrapped up by O'Donnell. And we'll get a ball up on 50 for the Tigers.
Pressure inside 450 is really lifted for the Tigers. They're really trapping Box Hill in. They can't get an easy ball, Box Hill. And,
spot on. That's changed the whole game in this third term. The Tigers again are going to get a clearing kick towards a dangerous position. Ballard was there, but going back to the flight was that Whitecross in defence or Mirror?
David Mirror, yes.
David Mirror. So he's brought the ball further afield. That was Heatherly with it. He goes down the line looking for a mark. Morris went back with a flight. Good attack on the footy. McIntosh with it now. Morris got up quickest. Now he's just going to go short down the lines. Moore couldn't quite take it. Bounced off his chest. Ends up with Morris off the back of the contest. Right foot kick around the corner. The smother bounced off the head of Moore. And now the rush kick down the line was that Heatherly, and it's just stunk out in the down the full.
That's not pressure from Moore. He copped the Falcon, but still was able to recover enough to put the pressure on the kicker in Heatherly.
It was super, wasn't it? So Garthwaite, where's he go? He steps off his line. He's called the play on. He's just going to send it down the line. Soldo's there. Lloyd at the front. Pitney was strong, held his position and marked it. gives their hands off. And now they'll go through the middle of the ground. O'Donnell gave it off. Now the kick there, getting involved with Brand, sends it out wide. He's got runners. The kick off the ground was almost effective, but Alice just took it nicely as the conditions improve. Now it's Menadue in support. It's going to send it deep. Moore's out the back. No, so Bolter it is. He's floated forward. Good call there. And he takes a mark. 25 out. On a bit of an angle.
Not beyond him here. He's generally a pretty efficient set shot on goal. He's got a pretty nice technique. But
he's setting up to belly the footy across the face is what he's doing.
He's going for your favourite snap around the corner. He's set up well.
When they line up like this, I hope they miss.
I reckon we need to get... Hang on, here's the kick.
Now, can I...
Yeah,
give me 10 seconds
Go
here.
for it.
Drop punt, he kicks it through post high because he's 25 out and every player can kick it that far. Right foot banana, you're always the chance to hit it fat and just put it across the face, or hit it skinny and not get the distance.
Exactly right. I'm with you, Jim.
This is dumb football.
Should we get the chief to get into that one as well as the dribble?
We need him to. Otherwise, I'll kick him out of his chair and take the roll.
Here's a chance for the Hawks through Whitecross, who got dispossessed. Good strong tackle there will create.
Still willing in the clinches here. This is fantastic footy. Now let's just see how the Tigers set up here. Let's see if everyone goes to Warple.
Lewis up against Soldo in the ruck. Soldo won the tap.
Brandon Wood.
Trying to work his way out was Wood. Strong tackle. Ground level ball. McIntosh was tough. Got it to Wood. Threw it on the boot towards half forward. How will this bounce? O'Donnell happy to see it over.
There's no heavy tag on Warple, but there's a definite...
There's a bit more pressure being put on him.
There's more pressure, exactly right. There's the tension.
I think they're just aware now.
Yeah. There's more. Yeah, you're right. It's more of an awareness. They got Miles and Wood just going to him and stopping, just bodying him. He was electric in that second quarter.
I like how he's just got out of the clearances at the moment, Warple too, just to try and get a bit more space. Soldo was involved, gave the hands off, gone back for the footy again. Now the kick off the ground from Whitecross only went as far as Connor Riley, just sitting off the back of the contest there all on his own. So he's going to go short, and the mark is taken there by Menadue. Box Hill have just plugged the holes well inside forward 50 for the Tigers, so it's just going to be a spearing one into a dangerous position. Brand flew, Townsend was at the bottom, couldn't quite take it away, then Brand just kicked it out of the area, Garthwaite underneath it, goes with the fist, got plenty on it. Now it works its way out to the line. Now that is a very deliberate tap across the line, and the umpire is all over it there. That was Connor Riley not getting away with it.
That's a tough one. I think it's a tough one. You know what they're trying to do, but also...
Well, that's 50.
Shea Bolton's just come off the bench. They made an interchange.
I think Sam Lloyd did it too as well, did he? Or?
Yeah, Bolton and Lloyd. There were two changes. Two Richmond players ran off for their rotations just as Cousins was standing there waiting to take his kick. You've got to be smarter than that, and that's...
You've just got to hold back.
That's all four players at fault. The two that came off and the two that ran on.
Yeah, the two coming off should have held off.
And that wouldn't have created the issue for the two coming on.
Exactly.
But the two that came off were behind, so they're still inside the protected zone, but they didn't block Cousins. The two that ran on ran right into his space.
So Cousins with a chance to get the first goal of the term for the Hawks. He's got plenty of leg on it. And he's just
cleared the
pushed
road,
it to the near side.
It did clear the net.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to... Someone might just run away
roost
with
and a half. And they're not cheap, these footies.
No.
So now Garthwaite with it on the line. He's under pressure now and he kicks it further outfield. Bolton's underneath it. He needs to leap and he ran under the footy. And the mark was taken there by David Miro. He's just starting to step up. He's output again after a quiet second term. So he swings onto the right boot and sends it deep. The Tigers with the numbers floating across with that Bolter at the front. Couldn't quite hold it. Morris was involved. Head over the footy. Gives it off. That was Riley got involved. Silvestro, he's been quiet today, but he's got to go on this term. Goes further afield. More was Townsend at the back, so he came off his hands. Now Brand gave it off, and then the kick inside forward 50. That came from Will Hams. Tigers with the numbers again. Silvestro's there. Just takes the tackle, and he won't win a free kick. So we'll have a ball up, 35 out from the Hawks goal.
Box Hill now getting repeat entries. They've upped their work rate here, and they're trapping the Tigers in nicely. It's on the Tigers now to transition out of D50.
Oh, Warple does the roving, kicks towards goal, but Garthwaite's back there.
the birthday boy in the last line of defence.
Now this is where Box Hill set up relatively well here, and they're going to go long down the line.
Garthwaite drives it back from where it came, looking for Soldo, who worked to the front with strength. Outbodied Mirror and took the mark. Chips over the top, taken there by Wood. Now Silvestro's running, fed it to Moore. He can go off to the races. Callum Moore has a bounce to 52, kicks towards full forward, and it's a beautiful kick and a terrific mark on the line for Richmond.
I thought that was Moore's moment.
It was.
And, you know, and even though he didn't go the glory and kick the goal,
Jacob
just
Ballard.
as good a result.
Put that goal down to Ivan Soldo. It's his mark in D50, exiting D50, really set it up, and the likes of Tommy Silvestro were off to the races, and Callum Moore as well.
And a 9-metre penalty, which takes him to the line. So Jacob Ballard,
Could make all the difference.
who runs in. Well, it made the difference for Ross earlier. We're going to keep getting into him for that. Ballard kicks the goal, and the Tigers have snuck away now. They've got themselves a very handy little break in the third quarter on the back of Ballard's first goal. It is Richmond 8-8-56, 16 points to the good now against Box Hill, 5-10-40, 15 minutes gone third quarter, the biggest margin of the day, Brenton.
It certainly is, and yeah, the Tigers really up the work rate, and their ability to run and carry through the middle of the ground takes out the Box Hill really roll numbers back, and the ability to get the Box Hill defenders caught in between. And he had Ballard at the back. It was a ripping kick by Callum Moore too. He would have had goals in his sights, but he found Ballard, did the team thing.
I wouldn't be shocked if he did have goals in his sights and just didn't get enough on it. The clearing kick there for Box Hill was cut off by McIntosh. He's got Morris coming off the back of the square, gets it out to Townsend. He's then got a short option out wide in Menadue. Went over his head. He can go back and gather it though, give it back to McIntosh, who's now going to look up the field. He needs to hit a target, and he does. That was Wood there stretching, couldn't quite gather it, eventually did, and then just stepped around his opponent with a nice little bit of candy. Now sends it long inside forward 50. Bolter's there at the front though, Stengel, and he marks it, 50 out. I'd say he's too far from home in saying that he looks almost reasonably confident the way he's just pushed back and stopped. Now he looks like he might just sit it up, and he does. So he goes for the hot spot. Moore was at the back for the Boxer number at the front.
Well, the umpire wasn't confident in kicking the distance either. He called him to play on.
He said, "You're dreaming, mate. Hurry up." So now the ball in the hand of Giath. Am I saying that correctly, Brendan?
Yeah, Chunkwat Giath. That's the way I go with it anyway, until I get told otherwise.
That'll do. He just switches the play now. So Box Hill, they got a short option in Whitecross, and they go there now. The kick had to be good, and he just took it in his hands above his head in front of Silvestro. Wanted to give the hands, didn't. Now he pushes back off the mark and goes to a short one over the top, and that's a good hit to the man there, and James Cousins.
So smart there by Brand. If he went in long, Tigers had representation down the line and in the corridor also.
So the kick went long. There was a fly up, but now they can work it out the back. There was Miller involved, and now the kick through the middle of the ground. Shea Bolton's got it. He's going to move it quickly. The kick hasn't got the legs on it, though, to get to Ballard, and it's intercepted there, almost there by Harrison Jones.
Now, this is the non-officiating umpire who was paid a free kick to Box Hill for a push
now, I think
when there was only two players in the contest, and they were both Box Hill.
Spot on.
This
now
is the umpire from about 50 metres away has paid the push.
So it's gone to Heatherly, who was the one that came through and took the legs out of his opponent.
Yeah.
Now, he took the legs out because he just stumbled.
That's just
that.
wrong. Simple, just wrong. Oh, what a mark.
Great
Coleman
clunk.
Jones.
Liking this move at the moment. Coleman Jones. He's flying a couple of times down there now, and his kick had to be good. Bolton came up to it and read it best, took it on the chest, and he goes. Silvestro went to put the Shepherd, but it wasn't effective. So Bolton now he has to be fancy along the line. Went to Lloyd, got a fist in there. Giath couldn't quite gather it. Silvestro with it now, stood up in the tackle, got his hands free. Got it out to McIntosh, gives it off to Coleman Jones. He's got one over the top now. Finds his man. Now the handball further afield is to Moore. Can he get his goal? No, he doesn't. He does the team thing, chips it over the top, and just completely stuffs the kick, and it's turnover deep inside forward 50 for the Tigers.
He's finding space though, Callum Moore.
He's very dangerous. They're not manning him up. Caden Brand is the man with the job, and he's just letting him go. And the only times that it's becoming an error for Moore is when he gets himself into two minds about whether to go for goal, whether to pass. In that case, it was which one to pass it to, and he put it right in the middle.
So the output of Coleman Jones is lifted in this quarter too.
Could you say, what I'm getting at there is he probably needs to be a little bit more selfish.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
As Pitnet gets it off towards Andrew Moore, who left it behind. Bolton wraps him up, manages to tunnel it out the back. Giat taps it on
He goes again, Giat. He lays the tackle on
Big
Riley.
tackle.
That's a good tackle. And we'll get a ball up.
No, I'm with you on that one, Brendan. He just needs to be a bit more selfish. That one there, he needed to have the shot at goal.
Moore and Lloyd having a bit to say. Andrew Moore, that is. What he's pointing at.
Not too sure. Maybe
Well,
pointing at
there's
us.
a scoreboard up here.
Maybe
I don't
pointing
think
at
there's
us.
a scoreboard behind us, is there? It's only 16 points, so I wouldn't be pointing at that just yet.
Box Hill Hawks, an ex-Tiger.
Yeah. Andrew Moore.
Spent 1 year on the list.
And we have a ball up right in front of broadcast. Coleman Jones won it down, trying to work his way through was Harrison Jones.
Now, the non-official game umpire that picked that one up there, there was a player with the ball in his hand there, which is Harrison Jones. I thought it was his free kick. I reckon it was Coleman Jones who had his arm around his neck.
He gave it off to Lovell, who gave it to Cousins, who's under the pump now. Hand pass back to Jones. He has an air swing and lost it. Menadue, now Bolter across to Naish. He could go all the way, Pat Naish. Goes to 48, and Naish drives it home.
That was an outstanding goal, but
he's had about 30 steps.
And he burned Jake Arts on the... he had to kick that. Jake Arts was streaming into space. Patrick Naish take a bow.
He thought about the pass, didn't he? But
he didn't. I just love how he wasn't in full stride and he had the ball out in front of him. He was sizing something up and then he just put it under the arm. And as soon as he did that, there was only one option for him.
He probably did run about 25 metres.
He took on a few tackles and, yeah, you were just looking at the umpire thinking, when's it coming?
How far can he run? Further than that.
No, I think
usually they come back.
I reckon the umpire just got a bit carried away in the build-up too. He wanted to see a cracking goal.
Yeah. Well, they'd already taken that one off Callum Moore in the second quarter, didn't they? So, Richmond 9-8-62, Box Hill 5-10-40. This is really getting away now from the Hawks 21 minutes into the third quarter.
Yeah, the Tigers run and carry through the corridor is something that's really lifted in this third term. It's able them to push out to a 22-point lead.
So Box Hill, they'll get the clearing kick out of here. That comes from Kieran Lovell, who's just going to go deep. McIntosh was at the front, just went over the top of him. Riley was involved. Now the clearing kick out of there. It had to be a good one, and it wasn't. It's going to be cut off from Lovell. So Lovell's 60 from home. He's just looking for an option. No one's really moving. Tigers have just blocked out all the space. Jouts underneath it, and look at that.
Good mark.
That was the standing jump, the vertical leap, whatever you like to call it, and it just worked for him on that occasion, and it stuck.
Got a nice little block too. Just Ryan Garthwaite was up there for the spoil, but Garthwaite just got blocked off the ball. Great protection from his teammate, and Jeff is having a shot on goal here.
Kicks this.
Quite forcefully asking the question too, Ryan Garthwaite. What about that block?
How about the block? Alistair Clarkson, he had his coffee with the heavies of the AFL, not the VFL. So, Jeff, I like the technique. I'm not sure about the right foot bender, and that's why. Just kick a drop punt. Straight across the face.
At least it wasn't a Stevie J snap.
It's like they've...
Well, yes. He was sizing up drop punt the whole way, and then he's, no, I'll just make a meal of this for fun.
So free kick to the Tigers in the last line of defence. Driven up and under. And Andrew Moore floated in from the side, couldn't take the mark. Caught was Cousins. Thrown out of the contest. Schoenmakers just put it on the boot. Wants to bring back the rain. And the kick towards the line has been touched over with the drop mark from Ellis going back with the flight.
Daniel Caulfield just down here on the bench, just doing a couple of run-throughs. He looks to be wincing a little bit, so we'll just keep an eye on him.
Boundary throw in inside 50 for Box Hill. They need a goal and they need it desperately. Working his way through there was Hanrahan. Good little hand pass up, gave them a chance. Fed it out wide. Willsmore. That was great smother from Lloyd. It created the turnover. Anthony Miles to Soldo. Out to Ellis, who brings it up towards the wing. At the base of the pack, it was thumped away by Heatherly. There is Bolton. Loops it over the top. Arts has it thumped away from him with authority. Well done by Hams, and we get a boundary throw in right in front of broadcast.
Outstanding smother by Lloyd there. That's what you come to see.
It was looking really dangerous, wasn't it? He just flew in from the side right at the good timing. So 22 points in favour of Richmond as they work their way into the upper hand in this game. Soldo in the front spot. He's got the better of the taps. Did nicely, got it out to Menadue. Baker Under the pump, got a kick inside 50, back with the flight. Moore, was he dragged down? I thought he was. Stengel just throws it away.
A one-handed throw.
Yeah.
Oh, you almost hope he got away with that because it would have been funny.
The idea was there. The execution just let himself
down. A little bit wrong with that as Chris Newman makes his way down to the bench. Of course, a Richmond champion, coaching Box Hill today.
So the ball's made its way to about 90 from home for the Tigers, and we'll have a throw in.
The Tigers really lifted the intensity in this side of their game. Around the stoppages, they look really sharp. The likes of Menadue and Baker, dangerous on the outside with Brandon Wood and Anthony Miles, and Lloyd on the inside feeding out to them.
Harrison Jones is going to look like the mummy returns very shortly. He's having the nose taped up.
Feel for any player that has to get that done. As the hands just work away from the contest. That was Arts coming up to the footy, couldn't get involved. Pitnade now lays a strong tackle. Pill's going nowhere.
Jake Arts and Mark Pitnet, two tough hombres that backward and coming forward.
So up it goes. Soldo, Pitnade, it's been a great battle all day. The Hawks work it out towards the line. The ball was in the hand of Cousins. The kick was rushed. Miles got involved. His kick had to be good, and he just shinned it slightly. Now the kick out wide from Bolter. Needs to find his man, and he does. That's Nash with it.
That was good by Bolter. No, the confidence he has in both sides of his body allowed him to turn into the corridor and then find Patrick Nash on the outer side.
So Nash, he marked it about 47 out. Not sure he's going to back himself in, especially on a breezy day.
It's going to be a tough one.
I reckon he'll just sit it up. And in the end, he just spears it all.
Oh, well read, Mira.
Yeah, super stuff from Mira there. He just sized it up. And intercept Townsend at the last second.
It was actually quite cleverly disguised, wasn't it? But Mira was all over it.
Yeah, read it best. So now the kick went up to the wing. Mark taking now. Box Hill, they're going to go quickly because they got runners in the middle of the ground.
Jouth is
going to be gathered there by Cousins. Jouth is away if they can go to him quick. Cousins played on. 50 now.
He didn't play on.
No, didn't play on. Okay.
And
certainly he's taken a few off the mark.
You've got to wait for the call, though, unfortunately.
Yes. The old saying, you play to the whistle.
Yep. And he was wanting to go. He was wanting to go. Ellis was corralling him and just got sucked forward. So it should certainly be a goal, but
it should
be a goal.
Should have been play on. Wasn't paid.
Yep.
Free kicks paid. Everything was probably correct.
Yeah,
in the end.
Yeah.
Judging on the
once
today, nothing is certain.
Yeah. Well, this is a similar spot to where.
Well, he's twice as far out,
Jackson
isn't he?
Ross. So see if he can make up for. Nah, nothing will make up for Ross's. I'm sorry.
No, there's no excuses. It's a goal.
Well, an anticlimactic goal, you could say. It would have had a nice build-up to a moment ago, but the 50 just brought it to the top of the square, and the goal eventually kicked. So Box Hill, they needed it. Just brings the margin back to 16 points, 6-10 to 46. Richmond 9-8-62, and they've had a really good turn. 27 minutes gone in the third term as the breeze just starts to pick up. The sun was back for the second term, and now it's just a little chilly again.
Yeah, when you mention it, you scare it away, unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah. It was funny, the call before with Showmakers kicking the rain, the ball up trying to get the rain back. It was funny. I reckon there was a little bit of sunshine, and then that happened.
It's just gone, and the
it's
wind's
just gone.
kicked up.
So we're back in the centre.
It's on at GMHBA Stadium too. 4 points the difference, 15 minutes into the last quarter. Geelong leading Werribee as Cousins was caught nicely by Lloyd. Bolton, beautiful smother that there by Nash. Bolton goes back again, got it to Nash. He goes towards half forward, Moore with strength. Heatherly with more strength. Then he got rid of Baker. Strong tackle laid on Hams. No, it was high, says the umpire.
He's ducked into that.
Yep, he has.
Against Ballard.
It's a bugbear of mine when players do that.
Exactly.
Well, they shouldn't be paid.
You invite the high tackle, and
the umpires shouldn't fall for those.
Where the rules are, they shouldn't be paid. Willsmore received from Brand. Heatherly on the wing. Had to think two ways before giving it away. Andrew Moore did it nicely and then disguised his handball straight over the line very nicely. There was no attempt really to get that to Lovell, but he was lucky Lovell was there.
Great pressure there by Connor Menadue, just stayed in the contest, forced the error, and we've got another stoppage here. Pitternet v Soldo. It's been a great battle all day.
It has, and I've loved the differing tactics here too. They both tend to try and get a bit of a run up, get around the other. Soldo went to ground. Look at Bolton just charged through. Great pick up and then sent it long. Townsend at the back. But the man at the front there will mark it.
Caden Brand.
Brand it is.
I tell you what, though, Bolton is looking extremely sharp around the stoppages.
Is he ever? His skills have been supreme. Kick goes long. Pitney brought to the front. Moore just threw it. Another one of those one-handed throws.
The tackling's been good. They're creating those throws.
Yes, they are. You're spot on. So Bolton gave it off to Menadue. Sidestep Warple, and he looks like he may have hurt himself. No, Menadue now takes a bounce, sends it long. He's got a man free. Is that Coleman Jones gets a hand on it, brought to the front. Arts is there trying to put the pressure on, as is Baker. Came off the shins, ended up in the hands of Townsend, and just sat there beautifully for him on the left boot. He's curling it towards the top of the square. And off hands.
The wind's obviously changed because that swung the other way to every other kick.
And it didn't have enough revs on it to be curling that far. So now the clearing kick for Box Hill gets there over the top. Morris is going to gather it just inside the field of play now. Gives the hands off to Alice. Tries to step to a couple, give it back to Morris. But he missed him and it went over the line.
In conditions like this, as a forward, it's imperative that you play in front. The ball is dropping, especially down the Brutton Avenue in. And a couple of times the Tigers just been caught behind their men, and the likes of Mirror and Caden Brand are just picking off it a couple of times.
Boundary throw in, outer wing. 30 minutes of tick past in this third quarter. And that will do us for 3 quarters here at the Swinburne Centre. And it is the Richmond Tigers who've kicked away with 4 goals to 1 in that third quarter and got themselves a 17-point lead at the final change. Richmond 9 goals, 963, leading Box Hill Hawks 6-10-46. Goal scorers for Richmond, 2 each for Stengel, Naish and Arts, and singles for Coleman, Jones, Ballard and Silvestro. For Box Hill, 2 goals to Warple and singles to Dorian, Moore, that's Dylan Moore, Cousins and Schoenmakers. A 17-point lead at 3-quarter time to Richmond. Brenton.
It was the ability of Bolton, Baker, Menadue around the stoppages. They really sparked the Tigers into action, and then they got their front half game going, repeat entries, and were able to capitalise as well.
Spot on. It was simply a case of the midfield got on top. The first half, you mentioned it at half time, it was hard to see Richmond getting on top and winning this contest, especially with the impact Warple was having around it. That dried up in the third term, and as you mentioned, all those names, they got on top for the Tigers. So super stuff from the Tigers to be able to kick clear and have a 17-point margin. It's huge. So we might take a spell. Richmond leading this one 9-9-63. Box Hill 6-10-46. We'll be back at the Swinburne Centre shortly. Welcome back to the Swinburne Centre for the final quarter of action here in the VFL. Richmond 9-9-63 leading Box Hill 6-10-46. Brendan, just quickly before we get this one underway, some stats that stood out after that quarter.
Well, the Tigers' run and carry game really came to the fore, and that was reflected in the stats. They were plus 22 in handball receives for the term. They've gone to 94 handball receives to 62 of the Hawks for the 3 quarters, and also around the clearances they got on top. I believe they were plus 6 in the clearances as well.
Yeah, it's some pretty big differentials just for a quarter of footy, isn't it?
Absolutely,
and it shows you the dominance. And as you addressed before we went to the break, it was Baker, it was Bolton.
Yep.
It was those sort of guys that really got on top. And I like now at the start of this term too, you look at who the Tigers have got around the footy here at the start as well. You've got Miles in there, you've got Ballard, and you've got Lloyd now.
Big bodies.
They've gone big body, haven't they?
Body, yeah.
Like you look at Ballard, he hasn't spent much time in there today. The same as Lloyd. Lloyd spent a lot of time across the half-back flank.
A quiet day for Ballard, only 6 possessions, 1 kick, which is that one he was the goal.
Yeah, so I like this move though, try and get him in the game.
Yep. He's a versatile player, big player, play forward, plays on wing at times, and also as a big-bodied midfielder, I reckon that's his go.
Exactly, and straight away throwing his weight around in there. Silvestro was involved.
Ballard here. Gets out to Baker.
Oh, kick going on off the footy too. Miles was taken down. There's advantage called. Kick goes inside forward and 50, and Townsend just takes it on the chest. The wind plays havoc.
That's who?
It's on again in the middle.
Harrison Jones is becoming an irritant for the Tigers today.
Yeah, isn't he? Yeah.
He's had plenty to say, hasn't he? And as I said, he's had his nose strapped up too, so he might have paid for his words at times.
Probably a good thing Townsend's got the ball in his hands.
Yes.
Otherwise he'd be in the thick of it. Makes his way in now, and he's just poked at the kick, and he hung it out to the right. He just didn't kick through it, did he?
No, he didn't. You've got to kick through it on days like this.
Exactly.
You take the breeze out of it somewhat if you kick through the ball.
Yeah, just got to sum up the conditions better than that. So Whitecross to bring it back into play for Box Hill. And they need to make a move. It's been a low-scoring game.
18 points the margin in favour of the Tigers. A kick in, there's been a hold, and it's a free kick to Box Hill. It's going to Nash, the Irishman, County Meath. Plenty of
these kind of conditions then.
Yeah, 2. We Connor Glass pulled out of the team. Otherwise, there would have been 3 from overseas in the Box Hill team, I should say. The other one who is playing is Kurt Heatherley from New Zealand.
Soldo
has copped one in the head in that marking contest.
And that would be a big blow in the latter stages of this game. We're going to have a ball up now.
Keep it close.
Soldo's not there, so it looks like Miles is going to have to do the ruck work.
The umpire is actually waiting for him, which he shouldn't be because it's not blood. So Harrison Jones getting a warning as he tries to rough up Ballard.
Noah Bolter's coming to the stoppage here. He's going to try and nominate for the ruck, but I think
they've made Miles go for it.
Yep. And of course he's beaten by Pitnet as Bolter then tries to go through, and 3 Tigers have got hold of him.
Oh, Baker again.
Baker was super.
Jones is still having a bit to go on with. Keep an eye on him.
So Stengel with it. He spun the full 360. Didn't get pinned. He eventually got it out. Ballard was involved. He was wrapped up in the tackle well there by Mitchell O'Donnell. We'll have a stoppage. 25 around from the Tigers' goal.
Liam Baker's been emergency a couple of times for AFL duties, and you're seeing why today. He's just so clean around the stoppage.
He couldn't be far away, could he? O'Donnell just found the line with the ball there.
And the fact that there's a bit of feeling in the game suits him. He doesn't mind.
He seems that type, doesn't he?
Chirping away at the opposition. Yeah. He likes that kind of contest.
So it'll be thrown in. 25 round from the Tigers' goals. They try to get something early in this term. You'd feel like a goal would just about shut Box Hill out of this one. Coleman Jones got the front position, brought it down, but Box Hill got the number there. They get their hands out. Moore was trying to get involved over the footy there was Cousins. Townsend's tackled. He doesn't have the footy. Ball's still just edging along the line. Miles with it. Taking it a gang tap. Came back to Alice. He threw a boot at it, but it's gone out of play, and I believe it may have been touched. We'll have a throw in 50 round from the Tigers' goal. Yeah,
just feel Box Hills, they're just not handling the Tigers' pressure as well as they were in the first half. They've been a bit fumbly, been a bit double touching, and that just invites the Tigers in. They're all sweating on the ball carrier, and they invite pressure, and the Tigers just being able to trap it in their front half.
Coleman Jones won it down, and Stengel just charged through. Snap around the corner, back towards full forward numbers with the Hawks. Great mark, Whitecross. Just camped underneath it. He heard the footsteps coming, but he didn't move, and he took a strong mark. Long ball, fly from the back from Miles. Couldn't drag it down. Out it comes to Miles, who took it over his shoulder. Quick kick out wide from Ross. Running onto it, Hanrahan. Turns inside, gets past Garthwaite. Snap back out to the pocket, and Schoenmakers takes the mark. 40 metres out, 45-degree angle. And
love the work of Hanrahan there. How well did he sum that up? He could have just blazed away, but to have the vision and to know Schoenmakers was there, and then weighted the kick perfectly too. Put it in the right position for him to take an uncontested mark.
Yeah, on the corner of his eye, wasn't it? Yeah, because he was angling in. So Schoenmakers, 1 goal, 1 today, 10-7 for the season. To keep the Hawks back in the game, he's pushed it across the face.
He had a pause in his technique thing. I'm not too sure if he does it every time.
It's almost the Travis Cloak style pause, isn't it? The way he used to stand at the top of his mark before he proceeded with his routine. So the Tigers let off the hook there.
Yeah, Caulfield's going to come in. The numbers are out this side, the Jack Dye side.
He was looking the wrong way, wasn't he? So now he's going to end it out. Sitting out of that. That was a good mark there, taken by Noah Bolter. Read it best, got to the front. Now he kicks it long, going back with the flight, almost taking the mark there. That was Heatherly. Townsend came up and then puts a tackle on him. Stayed away from his back, and that was good tackle from Townsend and saw the ball over the line.
Yeah, Boxall had the numbers
look at
there.
him, just sucking up to the umpires a little bit, goes and picks up the footy. He knows he's in the bad books. He's just going, maybe scrunch up that note you took in the pad earlier.
Yeah, well, that's it. We're just reminding people that Jacob Townsend was reported earlier on. So there will be MRP having a look at that.
So thrown back into play, Pitney at the front position. Got the palm down, but a throw there from Moore. Be a free kick to the Tigers. Bolton will be awarded it.
Baker just letting him know that...
oh, look at Bolton. He's just sidestepped a few, then gave it off. Is that Bolter running through Noah's Alice? He's going to send it to the forward 50. Moore pushes up to the footy. Now, you think maybe he's just on his limit. With the breeze, though, you feel though he may be able to hang this out to the right-hand side and let it come back.
He ignored Shea Bolton all on his own 30 metres out, and he's still there. He's got Hawks all the way around him. It would take too long to get to him now, but he could have used him.
So Moore, he is just going to chip it. And it had to be a good kick, and it almost snuck out the back. Pitney picked it up. The tackle was laid on him. It's just bouncing off a few hands and feet, and then it gets cleared out to McIntosh, who gathers now. Left foot snap. It's goal. The Tigers have got their 10th. 10-10-70. Box Hill 6-11-47. 6.5 gone final term. They get around him. You feel that may just be the killer blow in this contest.
The support net of the VFL for Camden McIntosh was dropped from AFL dues this week, but just showed why he's a premiership player. That was clean and classy on his left foot.
It was, and there's been a number of occasions today where players haven't had that composure, have they? And just spray the shot wide or whatever. So great finish from an experienced player.
Great fight as well, and pressure in the goal square for the Tigers. It was a hack kick out by Box Hill, and McIntosh just sweated on it and finished on his left foot. 17
possessions, 3 clearances and 2 tackles to three-quarter time for McIntosh. So
played his role. That's all you can ask.
Hasn't really stood out, but yeah, as you said, played his role. Back in the centre, the margin is 23 points, game high again for the Tigers. Miles, Anthony, Townsend tries to charge through, missed his boot, he's gone.
And he's just given another one there
Harrison Jones. And it's been reversed, has it? No, Joe just saying take off, get out of here, Connor Nash.
Clear the area.
Free kick to Harrison Jones.
Oh, poor
turns
kick.
It over. And it's taken by Miles, who kicks up towards half forward. Fist in there, White Cross keeps his feet better than Wood. Hand pass over the top. Mirror fed it out wide to Hams, turns inboard, low ball towards Giat, who takes the mark, just defensive side of centre wing. Goes a beautiful kick towards half forward. Ross thought about the hand pass. Now he gives it to Andrew Moore. Wants to give it again. Cousins from the 50. Kicks towards the top of the goal square. Ball brought to ground. That was nice. Snap around the corner. Hanrahan is going to trickle all the way across the face and go out of bounds for a throw in.
Good defensive work there by Corey Ellis at the top of his defensive goal square. Just kept a cool head, spoiled the ball, and then created this D50 stoppage.
So be thrown in deep. The Hawks need something, and they need it pretty much right now. Baker, though, got out there, got the tap came out towards him. He then had Bolton, who called for it. He's under pressure, though. He gathered and then tried to take on the tackle, and he went to ground. And we'll have a ball up, 40 out from the Box Hill goal.
Soldo and Baker creating a very good understanding at the moment between Ruckman and Rover.
Yeah, they have, yeah, spot on there. So the tap on that occasion, I reckon that's pitting everyone up, but the Tigers be able to get the clearance. Arts coming up to the footy, and he's just giving a little nudge under it, gets the free kick. So Arts just waits for players to get further afield and create some options. And there's none there, so I get the feeling he's just going to have to sit up. No, he's going to go really short.
Fingertip of Alice there.
Side, yep. So Alice, you back him in to find someone, and he does in Townsend, who just sat there in a little hole and took the mark. They're just going the slow build here. If they can choose some time off the clock, that doesn't hurt either. Short one to Bolton. He was pushed back as well. He'd look to go. The umpire's called him to play on now. He's just going to have to send this one inside forward 50. Coleman Jones from the side. Good fist there. And now they've got the numbers. That's Lovell with it. It's going to go short down the wing. That was Mira. Couldn't quite hold on to it. Arts gets involved. Gathered it. Shrugged him. Now gives it back. Now Townsend just dozed on the boot. He's kicked it up further than long. Soldo flew from behind.
Oh, he called the
and
block
he's been
here.
given a free kick for a block. Now, honestly, did it look that way?
It probably didn't, but it was a bit of a 50-50 one, wasn't it? But you can't block a player out from contesting the ball.
I think by jumping like that is what makes the umpire see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the kick's been turned over to Andrew Moore, who goes short to Heatherly, brings out the switch to Ross. Morris is approaching quickly and shuts him down.
They're going to have to wait here because the Tigers have manned him up down the line.
Ross goes around the wing. Beautiful play by Schoenmakers. He got to the front spot of Garthwaite, took the mark, then put it on the outside of the boot. Jones got there, provided the option and took the mark out towards half forward. Silvestre floating in from the side, and there was the block back from McIntosh, but Dylan Moore didn't make it quite so obvious. Ball towards the wing, hand pass. Jones was always going to get tackled there, and that is a ball up. And that's one of the potential rule changes that they're looking at, that when you handball to a player who's under the pump, you've taken the prior opportunity. And that would have been holding the ball.
So thrown up there. Soldo got the palm down. Good tackle from Bolton. Ballard was involved. Came back to McIntosh. Finds Menadue. He's got Garthwaite further off the footy there. Now Garthwaite's going to kick it. He's just going to kick it along. He's got Coleman Jones sitting underneath it. Moore come from the side. The fist from Whitecross just went straight up in the air. Now Moore gets a palm on it. Coleman Jones gathers it. He's tackled. Stengel got involved. Strugged out. Now he's just going to run. Kick it on the right foot.
Kick.
And the kick's good. Could have blazed away and had a shot. But he just lowered the eyes and hit up his man.
Great work by Coleman Jones there in the contest. Clean hands for a big man, and then
he just kept going, didn't he?
He did. He burrowed his way through. Got it out to
Second and
Stengel.
third efforts.
Yep. And that was a ripping kick. As a forward, that's what you want to lead
yes. to. Yes, spot on.
Will Hams was buckled over after that marking contest. He's okay, though.
So the shot on goal now. This to extend it to a 29-point lead for the Tigers. Kick on its way. It's good. The Tigers skip out to 11-10-76. Box Hill 6-11-47. 12 minutes gone in the final term.
I've been really impressed with Tigers. Tyson Stengel's work post-half time, especially in the front half. His ability to either kick goals or set his teammates up is a real feature of his game, and much needed after the first quarter. The Tigers butchered it going inside 50, but they've lowered the eyes, kicked it to the right option and taken their chances.
Brandon Wood, the goal kicker there, blowing the margin out to 29 points, and the Tigers certainly will consolidate top spot on the ladder now. 12 and a half minutes gone in the final quarter. They lead by 5 goals. One down by Soldo. Ballard's kick goes straight up in the air. Barely even clears the circle. Thumped on by Bolton. Arriving here is Arts. A little tap away from him from Lane, who we haven't seen since the first quarter. And a free kick has been picked out here to Richmond. And it's going to Jake Arts. He kicked a couple of goals. Goes with the 1-2 handball that misses the target. Finds it to Townsend. Kick around the corner towards the top of the goal square. Fly was Jones. Moore, I should say. Snap over his head.
No.
Stengel.
They would have topped off his day.
That would have just...
That was almost the Gary Ablett scene. You reach your heart out straight over the head. He just missed. And the margin is 5 straight kicks in favour of the Tigers.
So the kick back into play. That found Hams, who just runs around. Now sends it in the middle of the ground. Warple has to be good. Brought it to the front. That was good. Giat now gathers it. Stands up in the tackle. Got the hands away. It was intercepted from Ballard. It was smothered. Then he gets it back. He can't quite pick it up yet. Now he does. Now he's tackled. Eventually gets it out. Got a foot to it. Was it Mira picked it up? I think it was. Mira picked up and he was tackled, and we'll have a ball up 45 out from the Tigers' goal.
Bello tried to just doze his way through that contest.
Yeah.
He kept the ball alive, which was good. And
He kept trying to get rid of it, and it kept
Yeah.
bouncing back to him. So Showmaker's doing the ruck work here, and they're looking for a...
Tell you what, Baker...
Bolton's going to go up in it. He needs the leap, and he didn't quite get it. Comes out wide, Warple, gives their hands over the top, and now the clearing kick from there was from Cousins, and there'll be a free kick further afield. It'll go to the Lovell. I think it was just about some afters from the kick from Cousins.
Mitch Lewis, free inside 50, but it's far too far to go.
Yeah,
but,
it's about a 100-metre kick.
Yeah.
Ain't going to happen.
No.
So the kick went up the wing. Moore came off Finn's hands, and then Garthwaite was there to lay a really strong tackle, and it's held up.
I'll tell you what, the duel between Garthwaite and Shellmakers has been very intriguing today. Both have had their moments in the game. Shellmakers probably edging him out at this stage, but Garthwaite's had a sensational season.
So Silvestro with the clearing kick out of there. He's got Moore at the back. Did well to get a palm on it to spoil Mira at the front. Now it ends up with Whitecross tight in the line. He's taken down after he kicks it, but he got the kick away at the front. Morris did he have his arms chopped? Umpire said no. Bolton gets involved after a little toe poke from Morris. Now it ends up with Alice. He's going to switch the ball. It has to be a good kick, and it is. Now they can clear from there. Ballard was calling for it. The handball was looking for Alice. Just went past him. He's got time to gather it. Now it was intercepted there. That was good work from Hams. Got a hand in there. Now they can work further afield. I think there was Lovell involved. It goes down the line, charging at the footy there. That was Connor Naish. Now he gets it, and he's wrapped up. The umpire's circling and just says, I'll have it. We'll have a ball up centre forward. Box Hill into attack.
Great scramble defence there by Noah Bolter. He charged Connor Nash, created the stoppage, and then also Benny Miller just wrapping him up as well.
Dorian has it taken away from him there by Miller. Away come the Tigers again out of this defence. It was Baker, gets it with the 1-2, or Naish it was, in fact, with Anthony Miles, who ran into a brick wall, and that brick wall was called O'Donnell. And Mitch O'Donnell gets the free kick, goes with the centering ball across, White cross, sets it up with a little handball to Willsmore. He goes further afield, Cousins inside, or Warple inside 50. Garthwaite, good fist, got it away. Here's Bolter, needs to move it on quickly. Handball was good. Over the top, Coleman Jones. Back to Bolter. Through the centre. Bolton from 55. Kicks towards Stengel. Shoved him in the back.
Didn't need to do it, Tyson.
No, I think the kick was getting out the back anyway.
Yep, he didn't need to do it, unfortunately. But that was great work by Bolter, and Bolton streaming through the middle.
So now the short kick went to Whitecross. He's going to clear it for the Hawks now. He's going out wide. Miles was there. The kick was looking for Jones, but it went over his head, and so it bounces out of play. So throw in about 75 round from the Tigers' goal. We've gone almost 17 minutes in this final term. 30 points the margin.
Geelong has beaten Werribee by 16 points, 12-16, 88 to 10-12, 72 at GMHBA Stadium. So the Cats back into third spot on the ladder at the moment.
Umpire throws it back into play here. Pitney got the front position, brought it down. Jones was there. Warple's going to gather it. He doesn't do so. Just tried to soccer out in front of him stuff. Ballard was super. He's been better in this last term. Just shrugged the tackle and then sent it forward. That was Ham sitting underneath it. Stengel's there to put some pressure. Bolton's around the footy as well, but the Hawks have got the numbers and work it out down the line. That was a massive hit.
They're going to be into him here. Jake Arts.
That was Arts with the hit, and he didn't look well, the Box Hill player who's down. Not sure who it is. A long way from our commentary position.
It's been that type of game though, hasn't it? It's been hits after the kick, scuffles behind the play. There's been heat in this game. It's been the cool heads of the Tigers in the second half that have really stood up.
You like this from Arts too. Arts was just trying to get over there and he's just going and giving him a tap on the ankle. And
there was nothing malicious in it.
There wasn't.
No.
And to be honest, it didn't look like an unfair bump or anything like that. I think it was just a very strong bump.
Yep.
And timed well. So we just have a bit of a stop in play as the Box Hill player is attended to. Looks like he's going to try and get up now.
It's Nelson Lane. He's not in very good way.
No. No, you don't like to see this.
So just repeating, while they're trying to get to his feet, wins to Footscray by 6 points over the Northern Blues and Geelong by 16 over Werribee. Plenty more of the games this afternoon. The VFL Women's couple of games underway. Casey Demons have beaten Essendon 6-11-47 to 3-3-21. Carlton leads Melbourne Uni by 7 points. Richmond VFLW playing after this against Hawthorn here at the Swinburne Centre.
Yeah, half an hour after we finish up here.
2:30 start.
He's a very unwell man on his feet at the moment.
Being helped.
Situations like that, you'd rather they just get a stretch around.
Yeah,
especially when opposite side of the ground. It's a good 150 metres probably to get back over here.
It's also the 19-minute mark of the final term.
He's not coming back on by the time he has his assessment. Just walk him over the boundary line over there and bring him around the side. I suppose it does give Box Hill a chance to set something up, or even though they need a miracle from here.
Yeah.
You'd assume that's about 12 minutes left in the term. Now they are 5 goals down, and nothing is impossible in this day and age.
Well, we know that. We watched Footscray steal it against the Tigers early in the year. His kick just worked up the wing, fell out of position, came off his hands, getting across with McIntosh. And there's a whistle and a subsequent advantage paid as the Tigers go forward. Mira's going to try to read the footy. Went back with courage. Moore got hands on it. The shrug from Arts. He's just held up. He got the hands away. No, he didn't. The umpire called on the ball, and now Box Hill can burst through the centre. That was Lovell involved. Morris came up to the footy, affected that. Baker was there too. Now the hands come out wide. So Naish with a spearing kick to Moore.
And that's been the difference. Box Hill Hawks streaming through the middle. The hand pass was just behind Taya Miles, and then the cleanliness of Naish to find Callum Moore inside 50. That's been the difference.
Callum Moore, 2 behinds in the second term, 2 behinds in the third term. Yet to hit the scoreboard in the fourth.
11 goals, 14 for the season with those 4 behind. So
he deserves a goal.
Yeah, he's played well.
Kick on its way.
Look at that.
It looks good off the boot, and he gets his reward. Callum Moore's first of the afternoon. Richmond's 12th, 12-11, 83. Box Hill 6-11-47.
He's probably been the dominant key forward on the ground. Sean Makers has had his moments, but the way Moore just presented the footy, when you're coming off half back, that's all you want to see. You want to see your big forward leading at the ball, leads to the right spots. Kicking hasn't been.
And it hasn't just been his work inside forward 50.
No.
He's as you say, he's pushed so far up the ground. He's got involved across the half-back flank, clunked some good marks, and then finally gets that goal next to his name. So good stuff by Callum Moore as we return to the centre of the ground here at the Swinburne Centre.
This is going to be 5 losses in 6 games for the Box Hill Hawks, and they're going to fall to 7th or 8th on the ladder by the end of this round. So some real worries for Chris Newman and his coaching staff at the Box Hill City Oval as the Tigers go forward again. Mirror at the back, has it slapped away from him. It's Stengel, it is front and centre. Can he get through? Mirror wrapped him up straight away. And we'll get a ball up.
As you say, Brendan.
No, it's a free kick here for the Hawks. Sorry, Brenton.
Started 5-zip, I believe, Box Hill Hawks.
They did, 5-zip, and now they'll be 6-5.
Yep.
So they're right back in the pack, and they're at the base of the pack now. As the kick across defence was good, and going for a gallop is Brand. He ran a long way, and the crowd talked him into it.
I think it was more Soldo.
Soldo was screaming for it. And then it's right in front of the Jack Dyer grandstand, and they got right involved as well.
Soldo looked him into the umpire and said, I can't be stopped chasing him. Can you just help me out, mate?
It was there, but I reckon it was Soldo and crowd.
And that was a real tired kick.
Yeah, out of bounds on the full, I reckon it was, as you said, Soldo and crowd noise that was the... What's it called these days? The noise of affirmation.
Noise of affirmation.
that brought that decision.
The chase was good, but the pleading of the case was even
just as good.
Hams received to O'Donnell in towards half-back. Beautiful kick. This young man has had a very good day, James Warple, 19 years of age. He's had a taste of senior footy this year. He got it to Ross. Inboard kick, Andrew Moore. He's had a huge year. Great handball after the mark. Pitnet goes up towards full forward. Garthwaite lost his man, but still got back and got a fist on it. Good bump by Willsmore. Dorian back to Willsmore. Fed it back. Here's a chance. Oh, it's a great tackle laid by Lloyd. Creates the turnover. Silvestro put it out in front of McIntosh. Fed it to Baker. He puts it over the top. Arts possibly caught high by Hams. Umpire said no. And it'll be a ball up in front of the scoreboard. 23 and a half gone, final quarter. Tigers lead by 6 goals.
Great tackle there by Sam Lloyd. Stopped the forward thrust by Box Hill Hawks.
So the kick inside forward 50 for Box Hill. Garthwaite came up to it, couldn't take possession. He's going to end up with Silvestro. He's got Alice in support. He's going to handball inboard. Baker's there. He's got one over the top. He'll take that option. That's Miles coming to the foot. He's going to have to be strong, put his head over it, and he's just about KO'd himself, and I reckon he may have.
I reckon he's out.
He actually stuck his head down right at the crucial stage, and I reckon he head-butted the knee.
Head-butted knee, and
then
into the ground, I reckon.
Yep, and then hit the ground hard.
I don't think...
There was nothing in it from the Box Hill player's perspective.
I'm not sure if any of this remonstration that's going on here.
No, he's just, he had his head over the ball, and then he saw the knee coming and put his head down right at the crucial stage and copped the knee right on the top of the head.
And he has not moved.
No, he hasn't moved. This isn't a good one.
He's out cold.
Yeah.
The stretcher will definitely be called for this one. Stretcher onto the ground now.
Taking note there. I'm not sure.
He certainly is.
Now, I don't think that's a report.
There's nothing in this. No. I don't think there's anything in this.
There's 2 players attacking the ball, and unfortunately, this happens.
One just had his head slightly further over it. That's all it was. I don't think you can penalise the other bloke. It's
can't
a free
spot
kick,
exactly who it was anymore. We'd have to go back and look at the replay because I didn't quite pick that up. But that is a Box Hill player who's been reported.
I like how the Richmond players are hanging around too here. We saw it on Thursday night. We're seeing it again tonight. There's a lot of love for the mates in this club.
Absolutely. The connection's strong between at AFL, VFL, VFLW level, and also in the wheelchair team, Jim.
They're still yet to.
They haven't moved.
Roll him over, have they? They've taken every precaution here.
I think he did. I think his head hit the knee, and then also his head drove into the ground. So they'd be assessing the neck region.
That contact was almost flush on top of the head, which you can get that jarring effect, I guess, through the neck and down the back. So plenty of doctors and whatever you around him.
Just looking at the replay here now, Brenton.
Yep.
As Miles has stretched in, grabbed the ball, and then he's tripped over his own feet. And he's put his head into the hip of the Box Hill Hawks player, who is spot that it's Kurt Heatherly.
Yep.
So Kurt Heatherly who's been reported for the front on contact,
which, as we say, should get thrown out.
There's nothing in it at all. Miles has just tripped over at the crucial stage, put his head down, and at the top of his head, it wasn't the knee, is connected to the hip bone of Kurt Heatherly as he was coming in the other direction. So certainly nothing untoward. No. And I believe as soon as they see that on the video, it'll be all clear for Kurt Heatherly. But not great for Anthony Miles, unfortunately.
No, the neck brace is on, and they'll take every precaution. The medical staff at all footy clubs really these days is top notch. Especially with concussion at the forefront these days, they'll take no risk. They'll get him checked out, and unfortunately for Anthony Miles, his day is done.
Yes. So we wait for play to get back underway again. We've had a good look at the replay, and as you say, it's an unfortunate accident that can happen as part of the game at times.
And Heatherly's arms were going out to try and tackle as well, so there was no move to bump there. But it is he doesn't look like he's even awake yet, Anthony Miles. So
I reckon the ambulance will be called for that one. He'll probably straight to the Epworth, I'd say.
Got to take all precautions possible in those sort of incidents. So it'll be Townsend will take the footy. It's a bit of a flat way to finish this game, isn't it? It's been such a good contest, and then something like that really just takes the wind out of everyone's sails. So kick went deep. Moore flew at the footy, came off hands. Box Hill trying to work it out. Alice got involved, gave the hands off to Bolton. He'll just get a kick away on his left. He's just going to send it to the hot spot and look for a fly. Coleman Jones is underneath it, but the mark taken there by the Box Hill player. And was that Heatherly?
Kurt Heatherly, yeah.
Heatherly, he's been good. He found Whitecross and then went back to Heatherly. He was under all sorts of pressure. Whitecross again gave it off Coleman Jones. He could have two here. Right foot bender. Word. It's curling. It's there.
That's your man, Callum Moore.
My man, Callum Moore. That's what you do in general play, not set shots.
He's actually a pretty good snap in general play.
In general play, yes. When he's not thinking.
Oh, The handball back to Heatherley was questionable. It really invited the pressure, and the Tigers were able to turn it over. And Callum Moore just finished superbly. Running to the bench now, as most players do these days when they kick a goal.
Take a spell, 2 goals for. Finally worked out for you. Just noticed just dropped the tone of my voice a little bit. Just didn't want that sort of venturing down there. I don't need a big full forward after me.
And this is just the class of Richmond here. They're 7 goals in front, and it doesn't feel like a 7-goal game.
No, it doesn't. No,
they've just had that little bit of extra polish. I guess would be the way to put it in this second half.
And we're going, and it is 29 minutes gone. We're going to have a long last quarter with 2 injuries.
We're going to be near on 40, I would have thought. Warple trying to get the clearance tackle by Bolton. Really strong tackle there. He tried to shrug it, did Warple, but the umpire's happy enough just to call for it and have a ball up.
Of course, Nelson Lane earlier in the quarter from Box Hill helped off from the other side of the ground with a concussion as well. As Andrew Moore somehow gets through that traffic, kicks towards half forward. Schoenmaker slapped it on to Dorian. Here's Giat. He goes backwards to Warple, beaten for the football. Great hand pass out of there by Riley. Baker tried to slap it on. Art steps around, couldn't quite break the tackle. Baker, another great handball through, and Naish goes for a gallop. He's already kicked 1 goal like this, Patrick Naish, today. He went for the pass this time, and Heatherley got back and took a safe mark for the Box Hill Hawks. And he charged away, had to bounce the big Kiwi, brought it down towards the wing. Chance for, they spoiled each other, McIntosh and it's Ben Miller it is, apologies, out to Bolter in the centre of the ground. Towards half forward goes the footy. Lloyd to Bolton. What can he do this time? Just goes with the hand pass to Menadue. Short ball was nice, and Wood takes the mark.
And it's on again.
It's on again.
And there was nothing in that. Sam Lloyd was just lying flat on his back and decided, you know what, I'm just going to have a little fun here. That's all it was.
Townsend's in there again.
They all get involved, and
Where's
for a waste of time.
It is a waste of
He's
time.
got to be there somewhere.
Absolutely. I think Jordan Lewis summed it up last Friday night. Half-time the Melbourne Port Adelaide game, he said it is a waste of time. He said, and there's no point wasting your breath, just get in. And
he's matured then, Jordan Lewis.
I know, that surprised me hearing that.
Brandon Wood kicks badly and kicks an out of bounds on the full. I think it was also mentioned that his wife wasn't too happy when he came home with a fine about a week earlier for wrestling.
Just
push out.
The powers that be at home, just letting you know that this is not on.
What you do in life, you always listen to the missus.
That's exactly right.
So now the Box Hill are just trying to work it to the middle of the ground. Moore goes forward. His kick was a good one. Hits up his teammate there. And Jackson Ross, he's moved it further afield. The mark's taken there by Dylan Moore. And he'll have a shot from about 40 out. Slight angle.
That's what Box Hill hasn't been able to do in this second half, is transition the footy from their back half into their front half. It was Richmond's superior defensive mechanics to able to halt that, but that time they got out the back and found Dylan Moore free inside 50.
The shot on goal just fading to the right-hand side. Minor score. Box Hill 6-12-48, trailing Richmond 13-11-89. All this after Box Hill held a 3-point lead at half-time in this contest. Kick out of there to Coleman Jones. Couldn't quite hold on to the mark. Box Hill got the numbers, though. The kick will go inside 50 from Willsmore, but it's intercepted by Garthwaite. Just been his usual self today.
Yep.
Just controlling things down back.
Didn't disgrace himself when he got called up to AFL duties on the big stage versus Geelong.
But I think that shows what the coaching staff here think of him, that they'll bring him in for his first game and say, yeah, go and stand on Tom Hawkins.
Imagine that, eh?
And after a couple of early goals, he did quite well.
One thing I like about him, he just keeps it simple. He plays to his strengths, doesn't try to play out of his limitations, just gets the job done most weeks.
Dangerous kick inboard. Sam Lloyd was able to intercept it, got it to Ballard, racking up the handballs, gave one back. Now they're charging to the centre of the ground. Bolton will get it about 50 from home. Sidesteps one. He'll have a flying shot on goal there. And how about the finish from Shea Bolton?
That caps off his day. He has been best on ground in the second half, and that was just class.
And by some distance.
Yep.
His influence. So 14-11-95 now for the Tigers. They've really skipped away in this contest.
It's probably what he hasn't done in the last few weeks, probably the last month. His finishing in front of goal hasn't been what he would have liked, but his work in the midfield today has been supreme.
Yeah. The thing that stood out to me is composure from him today.
Yeah.
It's another occasion there where when he first gathered the ball, he could have blazed away from 50 there, but he was willing to just sum it up, sidestep one, which he clearly has the ability to do. And then get another 10 metres closer and make sure they finish. So really good stuff. Box Hill, 6-12-48. Just really the scoreboard probably doesn't do them enough justice for the effort they've put in today. So 33.5 gone in the final term.
They've kicked just 2 points in this third quarter, just 1 goal 4 in the second half, Box Hill. As well, the siren sounds on 34 minutes.
You feel as though they've just pulled the pin early on that one.
Yeah, they've called the mercy rule on it. The Richmond Tigers are a game clear on top of the ladder with a 47-point win over Box Hill, 14-11-95 to 6 goals, 12-48. A fantastic performance by Richmond, Brenton.
Certainly was. 14 goals to 5 after quarter time really sums it up. It was the class of the Tigers in the second half. But what warmed the hearts of the Tigers fans was Shea Bolton through the middle, Liam Baker. These young players that are knocking on the door of AFL selection really stood up today, and it was a really mature performance in the second half. It
certainly was, and as you said, knocking on the door of the AFL, so that's what it's about for, I guess, AFL clubs that have got a VFL affiliate. That's all it's about. At the end of the day, they're probably not all about the premierships in the VFL. Yep. They're about creating that talent, so they've got the depth to cover the AFL list, and Richmond has certainly got that in this side. There's plenty of numbers out there today that really could all put their hand up and stake a claim for a spot in the senior side.
Yeah, definitely. 4 goals 4 in the third quarter to 1-2, and then 5-2 in the last quarter to 2 points. They just flex their muscles against a Box Hill team that is certainly no mug.
Well, I believe they're sporting 20 AFL listed players, so there was a lot of that AFL talent on display today, but it was the ability of one of the Tigers to stem the flow and start to win the ball at the source in the second half, and then their efficiency inside 50 is something that really stands out.
Yeah, so goals. Let's look at the goal scorers for Richmond. It was 2 goals each to Tyson Stengel, Patrick Naish, Jake Arts and Callum Moore, who finished with 2 goals 4. Singles to Shea Bolton, Camden McIntosh, Callum Coleman-Jones, Jacob Ballard, Brandon Wood and Tom Silvestro. For Box Hill, 2 goals to James Warple and singles to Mackenzie Dorian, Dylan Moore, James Cousins and Ryan Schoenmakers. And I'm sure on richmondfc.com.au, stay tuned throughout the afternoon or over the next day or so, and there'll be plenty of you'll find out just how Anthony Miles is as well, because it's something that everyone will be interested in to see how he is. And we certainly hope he's okay.
Absolutely, and Tiger fans and Hawthorn fans alike, stick around because we've got the VFLW clash between the Tigers and Hawthorn coming up in just a few moments' time.
I think you may now know the reason why the siren was maybe blown a little bit early. We had another game to get to.
Absolutely.
And the result was in the bag. So if you just look out here too, Richmond have got a few players doing some run-throughs. What if they got on the GPS trackers and said, you boys haven't done enough?
Oh, I think that might have happened with the conditioning.
A few of the AFL listed boys.
There. Yeah. We saw this at Williamstown as well when a few of the boys at Stengel and Bolton had to do run-throughs after the game. It just shows that sports science is leading the way in AFL and VFL football.
The efforts they're making Townsend is you feel for him, but we might wrap it up now. It's been
just before we go, Jim, for Tiger fans who want to see the women's game coming up at 2:30. You can head over to vfl.com.au. It will be live streamed across there between Richmond and Hawthorn from 2:30.
Thank you, Brendan.
Sensational. So good stuff, lads. I believe we've had a good call. And a good game, too, to go with it as well. So in the end, Richmond 14-11-95, Box Hill 6-12-48. And that's it from the Swinburne Centre. We will see you next time here. That's been Richmond VFL.